Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is Scorpio Sky, and you are listening to the Keepin It Strong Style podcast, and it is the best.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, Keepin It Strong Style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy, Donovan, and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here, along with the young boy Josh Smith. On today's show, we'll be reviewing New Japan Road and Honor Rising, as well as covering all the latest news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can support our show by subscribing to the Social Suplex Podcast Network on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You can also get all the podcasts and columns at socialsuplex.com. Go to socialsuplex.com/subscribe to sign up to get all the podcasts and columns delivered directly to your email inbox. This episode of Keeping It Strong Style is brought to you by Powerslam.tv. Powerslam TV is an independent streaming service with over 4,000 hours of wrestling from companies across the world. Use the promo code SOCIALSUPLEX to get your first month free. Check out our Pro Wrestling Tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/socialsuplex. You can grab the official Keeping It Strong Style t-shirt, as well as all of the other shirts that are up there, including One Nation Radio, Ricky and Clive, and the Social Suplex Podcast Network logo t-shirt. I want to thank everybody who took advantage of the President's Day sale last week and grabbed your Social Suplex shirts. Still plenty of time to grab some shirts, guys, and support us. And this is going to be a nice little question to open up the show. We have...
I just want to start with this. My nickname might be the young boy, but my name is not Josh Smith. My name is Joshua Smith, and you shall address me as such.
Dude, for the last 60-something episodes, I've always said Josh Smith.
Well, he was Bobby Roode for a while now, and eventually became Robert Roode. I want to be called Joshua Smith.
Okay, I'll make sure to update that in my little script there.
And also, it's Gentleman Joshua Smith from now on. I'm getting a sequin jacket.
So, wait, are you officially dropping the young boy gimmick?
I'm going on excursion. I'm going to England, and I'm gonna do a gentleman gimmick, and I'm gonna be the gentleman Joshua Smith.
Wow.
No, I'm just playing. I'm not doing any of that.
Well, you used to go by the gentleman.
That was my
That was your original gimmick.
Yeah, because Chris Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, we had a question here from
the original super kick.
From Reddit user Zack Saber Time, and he says he's going
Zack Saber Time.
He says he's going off topic. He says, "How was your guys' day, Jeremy and Josh?"
Oh my god. I don't know, man. Not only how has your day been, how's your weekend been? I haven't seen you in forever, bro.
Yeah,
I miss you.
Yeah, this man left the territory for the weekend. He was working a different territory.
Don't worry about what I was doing.
I mean, weekend was fine. I mean, pretty much I was watching all these New Japan shows, just kind of chilling, really didn't do anything too crazy. Today, this has been a normal Monday. Work, hit the gym, get ready for Keeping It Strong Style. Now we're here.
What I will say, I can't get into the details. As Jeremy has said many times, sometimes I am reckless. But if you look at my shirt, look at the light. Look when I move. You see all this?
Yeah, there's a bunch of glitter on your... What's going on there?
They shall never forget the name of Josh Smith.
All kind of gimmick changes going on here.
Nah, dude, I can't get into it, but suffice it to say, all my clothes are covered in glitter, so take that as you will.
we'll let the listeners imagine why your shirt is covered in glitter.
Yeah, so, but my day's been freaking crazy. I woke up super early, made lunch, made breakfast, made my bed like a good little boy, got out, went to work, worked super hard, walked around a lake for 2 miles, made sure I got some vitamin D so I cannot be depressed and not want to kill myself and be happy. Then, I'm just joking about that, guys, but then I got off work and I was driving and I was like, you know what? I shouldn't really be driving out here without any insurance. That's kind of reckless. So I decided to go get some insurance. Got my insurance. Paid the gimmicks. They worked me.
Like always.
But I got them to put me over eventually. After that, came home, hit the gym, clanging and banging, styling and profiling. I was walking around the gym, doing woos, doing the Jackie Fargo strut. People are looking at me weird. Came back in here, blown up like I'm the Ultimate Warrior. And grabbed a shower. And ignored all the people messaging me so I can bring this incredible professional live audio to your world. So it has been a hectic day. I'm still in an anabolic state right now. I'm like sweating. I took a cold shower and everything. Like, it's been crazy.
Yeah. And, dude, there is so much to cover this week. You know, I was preparing for the show, getting the rundown in order, about an hour or so ago. But actually 2 hours now, putting everything together. I was like, man, there is a lot to talk about. All the news, all the results, all the questions. So, yeah, we're going to have a jam-packed show for you guys this week.
I'm not ready. But that's why I got this porter, this nice porter here. Keeping me company. Shout out to Zach Porter, his namesake. And yeah, bro, let's get into it because there is a crap ton to cover here.
Yeah, so New Japan Road, we had that show on Thursday of last week. It was Iska's retirement show. Iska was featured in the big main event.
Show of the year so far. Show of the year so far.
I think Iska might be Wrestler of the Month.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely he is. Bro, he's contributed more just now than any other wrestler has in I don't know how long.
Yeah, man.
Tanahashi who? Jay White who?
Okada. Yeah.
Okada.
Yeah, get out of here. Ospreay.
Bro, here's my contributions list goes like this. Just being edged out is Okada for getting rid of those pants. And then right above him, Iska for ending his own career. Those are the top two. Because those are the two greatest contributions that anyone has made to the sport of professional wrestling and to New Japan.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right, so let's start this off real. So we had the opening contest, Taiji Ishimori teaming up with the returning Robbie Eagles. They defeated the team of Jushin Thunder Liger and Yuya Uemura.
I'll tell you one thing. I like that new Katana Bullet Club shirt.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That's a hard shirt.
It's over at ProWrestlingTees.com. So, yeah, that is a pretty cool shirt. And, this match was pretty much all about building up Ishimori versus Jushin Liger for the anniversary show. And it came down to Robbie Eagles. He hit the 450 on Uemura.
Yeah, solid contest. Good opener, everything you would expect here. I thought Robbie Eagles looked good. But again, nothing that blew my world, but nothing that was bad either. Some of the like criticisms I had during the tag league, some of that's kind of gone. I feel like he's getting a little more comfortable working with the house style New Japan.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't really about him. This, like you said, this match was a showcase to kind of just build up and highlight what's going on between Ishimori and Jushin Thunder Liger, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of that.
Yeah. And so the next match we had Tiger Mask, Toa Henare, Tomioka Honma, and Togi Makabe defeating the team of Satoshi Kojima, Manabu Nakanishi, Ren Narita, and Yota Tsuji. Henare ended up getting the win here with a Toa bottom over Yota Tsuji. And I gotta say, I like the interactions with Tsuji and Henare once again. And Henare looked really good in this match. Had some great headbutt spots and just overall looked really well.
Yeah, the pace was a bit slow here. It's exactly what you'd expect, seeing young lions teamed up with the veterans. But in the spurts where you did see the young lions get their stuff in, Narita looked great. As you mentioned, Tsuji and Henare looked really good. And I thought that this was Henare, yeah, Henare. But this was fine. You know, it was fine. 2.5 stars. You know, exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah. So next up we had Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi.
The return of the Stone Pitbull, finally.
Yes. Defeating the team of Yuji Nagata and Shota Umino. Yoshihashi tapped out Umino with his horrible looking butterfly lock. I freaking hate that thing.
How? I don't want to get into it.
I mean, this match, I think it was a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, the best parts were, Ishii and Nagata that kind of picked up where they left off at New Year's Dash.
The talent that was in this match, I did have slightly higher expectations, but being slotted third on a Korakuen show match, or third match on a Korakuen show, you really can't expect much more. Mm-hmm. But, Yoshihashi was getting buried by commentary. Did you notice that?
Yeah. For a while now, they've been burying, especially when Don Callis is there. Don buries Yoshihashi all the time.
Bro, I think, it's weird because you always hear about how, the New Japan offices pay so much close attention to what Western fans are saying online and on social media, possibly to this show, I don't know. But then you wonder if they're even listening to what their own commentators are saying, because they seem to be, as a company, pretty behind Yoshihashi. I mean, they've showed time and time again that, they don't trust him to be a main event level guy, but they do have a certain level of faith in him that is a cut above many other wrestlers. And then their Western commentary team is constantly burying the guy.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe the Japanese team puts him over.
That's why I wonder if they're listening to Kevin Kelly and Don Callis and giving them direction, or if they just give them the autonomy to do whatever they want to do.
Well, I mean, stories that we hear from Kevin Kelly, it's often the English commentators usually get no direction. They don't even let them know when they're throwing graphics in, when they're going on the air. They just pretty much all right, we're rolling, go for it, do whatever you want. So I'm pretty sure they don't really have any.
In all fairness, I thought Yoshihashi looked fine here. I know there's people who are going to talk about how we're burying him, which he deserves it. So don't get it twisted. But he actually did look fine here. He hit his Western Lariat, the super kick, the two things that he does well. Those are the two things that he does well. He did them well. But yeah, he did win with that butterfly lock. It was awful.
Yeah, but after the match, we had Ishii and Nagata chopping each other, getting to his face.
Yes.
Both wanted to smoke.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I have a feeling we're going to be seeing that in the not too far off future.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about that,
I'm excited,
yeah, I'm all about Ishii and Nagata running it. So we have a question here from Reddit user Muzza. He says, do you think Yoshihashi will eventually win a title, and if yes, which title?
Do I think Yoshihashi will win a title?
Yes.
We've gotten this question so many times. It's funny that it keeps coming up because people really want to know if this guy's going to win a belt or not. And I just got to say, I hope not. I hope he never, ever touches gold in this company, because the longer that Yoshihashi goes without winning a championship, the more credibility that this company has with me, with Jeremy, with you, the listener. Whether you agree or not, you can't deny that this guy is a perennial loser, and he should not be representing the company as a champion. This is the same dude who ran down to the ring and tripped and hit his head on the
Bust his head open to the white meat.
Yeah, he busted his head open to the white meat. He pulled a Titus O'Neil. Do you think Titus O'Neil should hold a title in WWE?
Nah.
Same thing. No, if anything, though,
I could see him maybe being a never six-man champion.
That I could definitely see easily. I could potentially maybe one day see him as a tag holder. But if we're talking singles, you gotta imagine like.
Well, let's look at the champions right now. So the U.S. champion's Juice Robinson. Would you put Yoshihashi over Juice?
No.
The never champion is Will Ospreay. Would you put Yoshihashi over Will Ospreay?
No.
The IC champion is Naito. You're gonna put Yoshihashi over Naito?
Of course not.
And then the IWGP champion is Switchblade Jay White. You're gonna put Yoshihashi over Jay White?
No. With that being said, though, I do think hypothetically, if the titles. See, the thing is, I don't think Yoshihashi carrying a belt elevates the belt at all.
No.
It would be an attempt to
It would be the belt trying to elevate Yoshihashi.
The only two belts I could see that I would say he has a decent chance of ever being in contention for would have to be the Never title or the U.S. title. I don't think there's any way he touches the IC belt, or, of course, not. I don't think he ever even challenges for the IWGP title. If he does, something weird has happened. We're in Bizarro land. So, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what's in store for Mr. Yoshihashi. So next up on the card, we had Sho and Yo defeating the team of El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. This was a very important match. You know, we've mentioned several times on this show that Roppongi 3K, they've been chasing Suzuki-gun and been looking for that big win. Previously, before this match, it was already announced that they were getting a junior title match at the anniversary show. So it was very important that they win this match and stop another three-way and just prove that they're ready to be challenging for the titles.
What were your opinions when it came to Sho and Yo here? Did you see this as them healing it up, or did you see this as them trying to establish a mean streak and like a killer edge, like, you know?
I felt it was them trying to establish a killer edge, trying to be more aggressive, showing that we have what it takes to go against Shingo and Bushi. Like, we can stand up to Shingo. Like, we are tough enough to handle that kind of offense. So I think that was what was kind of going on here.
So it didn't come off to you at all like they were playing heel or potentially going to that?
Not in this match. You know, when they did the initial angle, when they stole the belts and they were cutting the promos against LIJ, that seemed heelish and the crowd was booing them. But in this match here against Suzuki-gun, to me, it just felt like, A, they already know the shenanigans that Kanemaru and Desperado are going to pull, and then B, they want to prove that, you know, they are the elite tag team in the junior division, and so they need to get this monkey off the back, knock these guys off. No games, there was no Rocky Romero, no playing games. Get straight to business. Let's get these guys out of here and prove that we're ready for LIJ.
You know, I agree with you, and I wouldn't classify this performance from them as a heel performance by any means. Mm-hmm. But one thing that kind of stuck out to me, it's just something I noticed with a lot of the like kind of underhanded borderline tactics, like, you know, choking guys on the ropes and things like that, and being much more aggressive with their attacks. Sometimes maybe this is their inexperience, I don't know, but, you know, a lot of the great baby faces who are trying to get comeuppance on heels, and they are at a point where they start breaking some of the rules because it's heated, because the other guys have, you know, attacked them in the past, or, you know, there's heat between them or whatever. Usually they'll play up to the crowd to get the crowd invested in what they're doing, and then they'll, you know, kind of go against their own core belief system and then start to utilize those tactics. Whereas in this match, they weren't doing that at all. They were just going for it, which is something that, like, babyfaces don't typically do. You know, right. If a babyface usually does something that's heelish, they're going to play up to the crowd to really get them, like, behind what they're doing, as opposed to risking the chance of people perceiving it incorrectly. I did think it was interesting that they were not playing to the crowd.
Well, you know, I wouldn't be surprised
Which they usually do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do kind of go a little bit more heelish. I mean, they're going against Shingo and Bushi of LIJ, the most popular stable in New Japan. Those guys are just over huge. So, I mean, when they face off, I expect LIJ to be cheered more than Roppongi 3K. So maybe they are kind of leaning towards a heel turn
And,
at least for this program.
And yeah, it might just be for the program, because it does remind me a bit of like Okada last year when he was in the program with Tanahashi the first time. Mm-hmm. And remember, he was attacking him and tombstoning him on the floor and everything of that nature. And then, turned around and he was, back to himself after that. So that might be what's happening here.
Yeah.
But it is a stark contrast to what we've seen from them in recent times. But I thought this match was pretty good. I was impressed with, who I was impressed with? Kanemaru and Desperado, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. Those guys look great. I really enjoyed this match. It's probably one of the better matches that these two teams have had against each other.
It's weird. All year I've heard how people love the LIJ Juniors, or I'm sorry, the Suzuki-gun Juniors, and they're so underrated. And a lot of the time, barring some of Desperado's singles performances, I didn't typically agree with that.
Right.
A lot of the time I'd be like, yeah, they're very talented, but I hate their matches. Suddenly, since like the end of last year, they've just started to like put in, and I keep mentioning it, but it's becoming more and more prevalent. It's like since they lost the belts, they're putting in way better performances all of a sudden,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, but I thought that this match did a great job making Sho and Yo look like credible threats and willing, challengers for LIJ.
Yeah. And so at the end of the match, they hit the 3K on Kanemaru. Sho got the pin. Then Shingo and Bushi came out after the match and confronted Roppongi 3K. Yo dared them to get in the ring, which they did. And then Shingo laid them out with pumping bombers. Champions looking strong.
Yeah, interesting.
So then the next matchup was Hiroki Goto and Ryusuke Taguchi defeating the team of Zack Sabre Jr. and Taka Michinoku. So kind of a mixed match team here of Chaos Guy and Goto and Taguchi representing Taguchi Japan or Sekigun or the home team, whatever you want to call it. What do you think about these guys going over Sabre and Taka here?
I think it makes a little bit of sense because, Goto had a title challenge coming up, shortly after this, and Taguchi had just lost, a big title challenge, and it was sort of like you needed to rehab them just a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is I don't know how favorably Taka is being viewed in the company right now with all the controversy that's been surrounding him over the past few months because of his outside, glitter-inspired activity. Extracurriculars. I don't know.
Yeah, so it was very interesting towards the end of the match.
I was surprised, though.
Yeah. Taguchi went for the Dodon. Taka rolled through, but then Taguchi rolled through that and ended up pinning Taka.
What did you think of Goto and Taguchi doing the Yama pose together?
Oh, it was it was kind of weird. It was interesting.
It's like
what's going on here?
Yeah, what is happening? But yeah, it's funny.
And I thought it was pretty funny. I saw the post match promo with Taguchi, talking about teaming up with Goto, and he's talking about how he's he lost a title match. He's been making steps forward. He says he's made 68 steps so far. He has one more to go, which would be 69. And then he said he's like Jay White's the 68th champion, right? What does that mean? So yeah, Taguchi, always hilarious.
I'm all for that. Let's put the title on Taguchi just so he can have the claim of being the 69th junior champion and the 69th IWGP champion.
I wonder how the Jay White haters would feel about Taguchi being the IWGP champion, beating Jay White.
I don't even think you should joke about that because there's probably people who are listening right now who are like, at least Taguchi's had a 5-star match.
Taguchi knows how to work.
You know what, though? They're right. Maybe he should be. He does need to come up to heavyweight, though. That's pretty, evident.
Yeah,
there's no way that dude's 220.
Yeah.
Or there's no way that dude is 220 or less. He's definitely above 220.
Yeah. So then the following match, we had the dream team of the Ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and the Assassin, Will Ospreay. They defeated Killer Elite Squad, Lance Archer, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. And, dude, I really love Tanahashi and Ospreay teaming together.
Yeah, I like their team a lot. I liked this match a lot, and it's been a few days. We've watched a lot of wrestling, but this might have been my match of the night, potentially.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, the stuff between Ospreay and Davey Boy Smith Jr. was awesome.
Yeah, we've seen Ospreay and Davey Boy mix it up a couple times now, and their interactions have been good.
When?
I feel there was another match, another Suzuki-Gun Chaos match where Davey Boy and Ospreay were mixing it up.
Yeah, I don't doubt you at all. I'm just trying to think about that for a second. I mean, with the amount of 8-man and 6-man tags that we see, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But, I thought that this match was really, really, really fun. Really, really good stuff. And I mean, I thought Killer Elite Squad looked like monsters here, man.
Yeah, dude, they were dominating this thing. They really were, working over Ospreay and Tanahashi.
Yeah.
And Ospreay did a great job selling here. Eventually, we got the fiery babyface comeback. Ospreay hits the Os Cutter on Davey Boy Smith Jr. and gets the pin. Tanahashi and Ospreay defeat a established tag team. They defeat former IWGP Tag Champions. And we have a question here from Reddit user DomHomie101. He wants to know, what are the chances that we see the team of Ospreay and Tanahashi challenging for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships?
I would say, in my opinion, it's unlikely. It's not that it couldn't happen, and it's not that would be a bad idea at all. In fact, that might be the kind of thing that the tag division needs. Mm-hmm. The thing is Gatos just hasn't seemed to be too keen on putting big superstars in that kind of position, because the way they book, they just really do treat the tag division like a very secondary sort of thing. What we usually will see with guys like this, if history's told us anything, or at least since the Gato era, is that these guys are going to be in main events, teaming up against other main event players, and occasionally against major tag teams like this. But when I watched this, I did not personally get the feeling that we're gearing up for some big title run, because I feel like they would feel like the bookers would feel like they're wasting 2 top level talents in a slot that is less important for them, where they could be utilized more prominently, headlining B cards and being at the top of the card, basically.
Yeah, with all the big shows New Japan has coming up this year, they definitely need to utilize Tanahashi and Ospreay in singles roles in big matches at the top of the card. So I mean, at least for this first half of the year, I really don't see, like you mentioned, I could see them maybe teaming up in various main events, but I don't see a tag title shot. I mean, there's just too many big shows coming up. We're getting ready to run to New Japan Cup, MSG's after that, and then Dominion, then the G1.
I mean, listen, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm all about Ospreay and Tanahashi teaming.
Like, when I see these mega teams of big superstars teaming up together, I think to myself, 90s All Japan, and I get a little reminiscent, but it's just not what Gato does. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do think, I'll say this though, this is my hot take. I think that Ospreay and Tanahashi is a better tag team than the Mega Aces.
Ooh.
And here's the main reason why. Because I feel like both Okada and Tanahashi need to be the hot tag guy. And when they team together, one of them's got to be Ricky Morton, and it usually ends up being Tanahashi. But Tanahashi is so beaten down, and he's an incredible seller. So I'm not really taking away from that, but it's like, you kind of feel like he needs to be the guy taking it easy in the tag team match, and let a young guy like Ospreay
take the heat.
Yep.
And then you tag him in for the fiery comeback.
He comes in, he gets the shine, he gets the the heat, and then Tanahashi does the hot tag, and it kind of works a little bit better that way than Okada and Tanahashi does, or at least that's what it felt like. And then after Tanahashi hits his hot tag the way they do it in New Japan, they'll bring Ospreay in and let him play cleanup after that, and he does all the crazy stuff he wants to do. It's been awesome. Yeah,
definitely love this. Hopefully there will be more Ospreay and Tanahashi tag team matches this year.
Now, here's the crazy thing. Who won this match? It was
Tanahashi and Ospreay. Ospreay hit the Os Cutter on Davey Boy.
It was Ospreay that hit the... That's what I thought. Ospreay hit the Os Cutter. That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're going all in on
heavyweight
Ospreay, on commentary. They mentioned how he's only, a few pounds away from being, from being able to consider himself a heavyweight. They're going all in on Ospreay beating heavyweights. When we saw him beat Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom, now he's pinning Davey Boy Smith Jr. here.
This just seems, not to say that in the grand scheme of things, obviously Davey Boy Smith Jr. is not seen in the same caliber as Kota Ibushi. Of course not.
No.
But at the same time, Kota Ibushi is a former junior champion. He wrestles that similar style, and his body size isn't that far off from Will Ospreay's current body size. So that's like a little believable. But in this case, everybody has trouble with Davey Boy Smith because of his size. So to see,
Davey Boy Smith, he's like 285. Yeah. His whole goal, he's trying to get to 300.
Yeah, he was looking like incredible. The way he was like getting jacked and everything.
Huge.
He was getting muscular. Just look at him. But yeah, just look at him. He was getting really cut, really fit, and then all of a sudden he's like, "No, I'm gonna bulk," and I'm like, "Whoa!" Like, yeah, he's bigger now.
Yeah, he's trying to get to that for whatever reason. He's trying to get to 300.
And I was like, wow, they let Ospreay pick up the win, which I was just very shocked at that.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, you would think if they were gonna win, maybe Tanahashi would, high fly blow one of these guys.
But Tanahashi and Ospreay pick up the win here. I think I had been skeptical. Did we both pick Tanahashi and Ospreay, I believe?
Yeah, we did.
But I was a little worried about Tanahashi.
Yeah, you were skeptical because, Tanahashi was hurt. And then it's Killer Elite Squad.
It was hard for me to imagine Ospreay Oz-cutting one of these guys and picking up the win. Especially, like, Davey Boy. I would feel like it was more likely to be Archer of the two. But they're really putting over Ospreay. So that's actually a pretty encouraging thing for everybody who's nervous about the direction of the company and things like that. Like, they're going in on Will Ospreay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there, they're like, why couldn't Will Ospreay be the top guys in? Like, why can't he be the IWGP champion right now? And if you look at Ospreay's booking last year, I mean, the development of his character wasn't, like, it would be literally out of nowhere for him to be the heavyweight champion, to be the top guys in right now. That's not how the booking went last year and how his story developed. With his big win at Wrestle Kingdom, this is like, now we're getting the story of him venturing into the heavyweight division, beating heavyweights, and becoming a bigger star. So, he's on the rise now, and within a year or so, he can definitely, be challenging for that top guys in spot and potentially be the IWGP champion or a challenger.
Maybe sooner than that, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so next we had the big main event of the evening, the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada teaming up with Toru Yano and Hiroyoshi Tenzan. They defeated the team of Takashi Iisuka, Minoru Suzuki, and Taichi. What do you think about this big Iisuka retirement match here?
I loved it.
Were you marking out as much as you were about Okada's pants?
No, I was. It was more like a quiet confidence because it didn't really matter what was going to happen here. Mm-hmm. I just knew that once it was over, it was actually over. It was finished.
Yeah.
And that was such a relief to me. Like, that was such a joy. I can't really put it into words.
Like you and like most people, modern day Iisuka matches are not enjoyable. And, overall, don't get me wrong. I know he's done a lot in his New Japan career and he was a big star, but, it's time for him to go. But with that being said, I must say, I did enjoy this match. I thought it was good. I thought, all the Iisuka tropes I thought worked perfectly in this match.
Yeah.
The Korakuen crowd was super into it.
They were
all behind Iisuka, even when he was cheating. And I thought everything worked really well here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know that, guys, sometimes we do stuff to be funny here, and I'm not going to lie. I don't like Takashi Iisuka. I don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like him. But I do like some of his matches. There is a time when I liked him. But with that being said, a lot of the things that I'm saying are for comedic effect. Ultimately, I thought it was pretty cool how the Korakuen crowd was so respectful and so into everything that was going on with him. And I also want to give hats off to New Japan Pro Wrestling for taking something that really could have been forgettable and kind of insignificant, and they really did a great job building up fan interest into the storyline between Asuka and Tenzan, and kind of turning this into a little bit like a final program for these two guys, which, it's been a while since we've seen Tenzan in any kind of program either, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and they did some great stuff for this match. They brought back the announcer Shinpei Nomagami, who, in the past, it was known for Asuka would always rip his shirt off at the commentary desk, so they brought him in here for this match. He was hoping that, Asuka would return to normal, but Asuka came out, ripped his shirt off like normal.
The crowd loved Asuka stripping Nogami. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, big spot for that. And, the whole story in this match, Tenzan is hoping and trying to get his friend Asuka to go back to normal. Throughout the match, he would try and get him to shake his hand, and Asuka would kind of tease it and then attack him again.
He brought back another Friends shirt, even though the last one got ripped during the New Beginning tour.
Yeah. So it had good back and forth action here, and came down to the end where Yano hit a low blow on Asuka, then Okada hit the tombstone, Tenzan hit a top rope elbow drop, then he went out, he grabbed the shirt that you mentioned, the Friends shirt, their tag team shirt, laid it on top of Asuka, and then he hit him with the moonsault, got the pin. After the match, the crowd's going wild for Asuka. And, Tenzan helps him up, and he's, begging for the handshake. Come on, let's go back to normal. Let's go back to being friends.
And Asuka was, conflicted multiple times throughout this match. Every single time Asuka, or that Tenzan wanted to, reconcile, he would just go crazy and, not do it, but he was kind of conflicted. And then the same thing here.
Yeah, and then Asuka finally accepted the handshake. Crowd popped huge. We all thought we were getting this feel-good moment. And then next thing you know, Asuka starts biting Tenzan, hits him with a chair. Then all of Suzuki-gun hits the ring, hold Tenzan up. Asuka gets the Iron Fingers of Hell, hits Tenzan, and then he runs off in the crowd. And Taichi picks up the Iron Fingers.
Oh my God.
And he teases to put them on, which got a reaction. So maybe we're going to see Taichi be the new carrier.
He's going to carry on the Asuka legacy. That freaking aluminum foil, whatever it is. It's like a big giant thimble. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, it's the worst. But the crowd, they were continuing to cheer and chant for Asuka for several minutes, hoping that he would come back. Taichi left, and there was no encore appearance here. Asuka ran off into the sunset. No happy ending. He ran off as a wild man.
We got a happy ending.
Well, there were a lot of fans. I've been hearing some complaints of people. They wanted Asuka and Tenzan to make up. They wanted a feel-good moment to end the show.
Listen, this is the happiest ending that we could have possibly hoped for. Godfather's Hose couldn't give us a happier ending than the one that we got here. Asuka is gone.
Oh my gosh!
Actually, I got a feeling he's not gone. I feel like he's just done with doing in-ring. I bet you within a few months he's going to be coming out with Suzuki-gun, and he's still going to be biting people and stuff.
Just be a second.
I bet you. I don't know. I just have that feeling. That's what it seems like it might be.
Yeah. We had a question here from Muzza. He says, "What if Asuka is not retiring, but it is going to end up on the Largo Loop?"
Oh, that's something I didn't think about. Do you think, with the way that WWE is signing up everybody and trying to play defense against the rest of the world, they might just find out that this man's contract is up and sign him to a contract.
Right. They're like, all right, who can we sign from New Japan? Who's this Asuka guy? He's retired? No. Bring him in.
They signed Pritchard, bro. They'll sign anybody. They signed Jeff Jarrett, bro. Yeah.
They signed Sean Daivari. Oh, man. But, so...
We'll be able to see Dan Matha versus Takashi Asuka. It's going to be really good.
Oh, my gosh. We could see if, Ricochet could get a good match out of current-day Asuka.
I don't even know why we're spending time on this. 'Cause it's definitely not happening.
Yeah. Obviously, Muzza was trying to rib us. So,
Oh my god.
I mean, obviously, if Iska's on a Largo Loop show,
What would you do if Iska like showed up at Minreg Hall?
I don't know. As long as it's not the main event.
Would you mark? I feel like I might mark if that happened. Just because it's a guy from New Japan.
I don't know, but it's Iska.
Either that, I would probably mark for him coming out, and then as soon as the match started, I'd probably go to the bathroom.
Unless he's gonna like beat up somebody like God, what's that dude's name? The Hawaiian dude.
Kona Reeves?
Yeah, Kona Reeves.
I
Can't stand that dude.
He's good. He could be in Suzuki-gun. He gets heat, brother.
Not the kind of heat I want. So that wraps up New Japan Road.
Fine show. Everything was solid in ring. Nothing outstanding. I think this show pretty much just solely existed, for Iska's retirement, such as it was advertised. So, I mean, nothing really to complain about there. But, a Road 2 show.
Yeah. So next up, we had Honor Rising Night 1 on Friday night. The big Ring of Honor New Japan show that happens every year in Korakuen Hall. We had the opening match with Marty Scurll. He defeated Ren Narita. And this match, it went 11 minutes. They got some time. And I gotta say, I really loved this match. This was a great showcase for Scurll. It's been a while. It's been since Wrestle Kingdom, the pre-show, that we've seen Marty Scurll in New Japan, and he looked great. He looked vicious. He got in all his signature Scurll spots in. Also had a lot of antics, arguing with the crowd and the referee. But also, Ren Narita looked really great in this match. He had some great selling, great fire, and was really taking it to the villain here.
Let me ask you a serious question, Jeremy. When doesn't Ren Narita look excellent?
Oh, he always looks excellent.
This man always looks excellent.
But particularly even in this one-on-one match with Scurll.
The neck bridge, bro.
Oh my, yes.
The neck bridge, bro, is one of the best neck bridges I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, that was...
If anyone wants to doubt how good Ren Narita is, just watch this match. Yeah,
the neck bridge was awesome. His drop kicks are always great.
Well, okay, that's the one thing I will say. Every single young lion, it doesn't matter who they are, they all throw the best drop kick you have ever pretty much seen. Like, they all do. It's like the one thing that they all do with such a high level of excellence. Like, it's kind of scary how good all their drop kicks are. But yeah, very, very, very impressive showing. I feel like Marty came in with his working boots on. We haven't seen him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him since Wrestle Kingdom. I think he has a lot to prove just with the fact of like kind of trying to be in the main event level in Ring of Honor, plus making his return to Japan, plus maybe seeing something special in this, kid Ren Narita.
Yeah, I mean, he could have easily have taken it easy in this match. This match could have been like a 5-minute opener.
That, or he could have eaten him up.
Yeah.
He could have given him nothing, and he could have just squashed him if he really wanted to. He could have had a chip on his shoulder because they were in the opener, and he's Marty Scurll, and he doesn't have to be wrestling young lions in the beginning. But I think that Marty has enough understanding of the culture in Japan to realize that when you're given a one-on-one match with a young lion, it's not, for nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a showcase, and you're going to be made to look strong, but you're there to help enhance that younger talent and really show something in them. And I think Marty did an excellent job, and Ren looked great. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the opening match on a card is a very important spot. It kind of sets the pace for the whole night. And yeah, both guys looked really great here. I really enjoyed this match. Scurll ended up getting the crossface chicken wing on Narita. Narita taps out. We have a question here from Reddit user That Was 5 Stars. He says, watching the Narita vs. Villain match, I turned to my brother and told him how much it's going to suck not having Ren there for the year of excursion. Who is the young lion you were most invested in?
Ren Narita.
Yeah, I mean, Narita, we've been on the Narita bandwagon since the inception of this show. And, ever since we saw that Yagi match at the Young Lions Cup, December 2017, this guy's been great, highly underrated. And I'm going to miss him a lot when he goes on excursion. This is a guy that he can go out here, wrestle a guy like Marty Scurll. He can be in tag matches, 6-man, 8-man tags. You can put him up there against New Japan dads, experienced guys, and he's going to pull out a great match.
I think it's funny with how much we always put over that Yagi Ren Narita match. Both guys were excellent, and obviously Yagi's gone, and that is a sad thing. But like, I don't think at any point I've ever been like, this man Yagi, and Yagi was great.
Yeah,
taking nothing away from him, but for some reason, and I don't know why, Narita's always been the dude for me. Now, I was very invested in Oka, and I'm still excited to see what happens when he comes back. But from all reports, everyone's saying that, like...
Dude, everybody's hating the Great Okarn.
Everyone hates the Great Okarn. I haven't seen it enough to say, like, one way or the other. And, I don't hear a lot of great things about...
Kawato?
Yeah, Kawato-san.
Which was the next part of his question.
Oh, that's a question?
Yeah, he says, what storyline / gimmick would you like to see Kawato come back with? The nickname my family and I gave him was Young Ace. What's his ceiling?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seemed like that was his destiny, didn't it?
Yeah. With Kushida being gone, I mean, they could... try to establish Kawato as like the new junior ace when he comes back, and you push him really hard, and you have him have great matches with guys like Taiji Ishimori and Bushi and Shingo and Hiromu Takahashi, Liger, Tiger, all these juniors they have there, and you really get him over huge.
I think at one point a lot of people were kind of saying they wanted to see him come back and join LIJ, but with the influx of members now, that might not be as likely as it was before. I really don't know. I'm not good with the whole gimmick thing. Like, what gimmick would I like to see him come in? I'll tell you one thing. I know a lot of people are like saying bring him in with like a new, like under a mask, like he could be the new Liger or the new Tiger Mask, and I was like, no. Have you seen this kid's facials?
Yeah.
Do not do this.
Yeah, guy's got great facials. I mean, great seller. I would not put him under a hood. I have no idea like what to book him as. I mean, I would definitely, make sure he's a top guy in the junior division. Probably bring him back as a babyface.
But, like, going back to the previous question, because I just want to touch on it. The guys I liked, Kitamura's gone. Okarn, I don't know what's going on with him. Kawato, not really sure. And the two guys right now that I'm most invested in that are still here, everyone loves Umino. We'll get to Umino for good reason. And I'm not denying his skill, his talent, none of it. But I like Narita.
Yeah.
I like Narita, and I like Tsuji.
Bro, yes.
Those are my two dudes.
I also like Yumura also.
I like Yumura as a technical wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's not doing it for me. Like, Tsuji comes out, and he looks like he's going to freaking kill
maul you, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gotten bigger. He's put some size on, and he's getting more aggressive.
He's got an awesome beard. He's got, like, one of the best beards in New Japan, Like, I think he should have a talk with Sonata, tell him how to clean that up. But, yeah, I like Tsuji, but I really like Ren Narita. And, yeah, Narita's the guy I'm most invested in, to the point where, like, the other guys that I liked who went on excursion, I really didn't follow them. But if Narita leaves, I might want to tune in, depending on where he goes. Now, if he goes to Australia, I'm probably not going to watch it. But, if he comes to Ring of Honor or comes to Ring of Honor, then I'll probably watch it.
What, you're not going to watch Rita Mexico on Friday night to see him?
We always say we're going to, but we never do.
I know. There's a lot of wrestling to watch.
I know, man. A lot of extracurriculars.
A lot of glitter, huh?
Yeah.
So you mentioned Shota Umino, and he was in the next matchup here. He was defeated by Zack Sabre Jr. in this match. Another long match for a young boy. 13 minutes, pretty much almost 14 minutes. 13 minutes 58 seconds here. And, dude, I thought this was another great match.
Yeah, it was better. It was better. It was better than the first match. They got a little bit extra time, and they made every single minute count. Zack Sabre, for the Zack Sabre doubters, if there are still any, I don't know if there are or not, but like this is something that they need to see because this guy's a ring general, and this just showcases how he can take a young greenhorn like Shota Umino and make him look like $1 million.
Yeah, and this was a Zack Sabre match, but Zack gave Umino a lot. And Umino looked really great keeping up with Sabre. He was going hold for hold with Sabre.
It reminded me of like the A-Kid match from last year.
Yeah.
It had a lot of that like technical. It also reminded me of the Sonata match from the G1 last year as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Those are two opponents of Zack Sabre that kind of have been able to stick with him when it comes hold for hold, move for move. And that's what Shota Umino was doing here. So this is just showcasing his, technical acumen.
Yeah, he had a beautiful bridging German at one point in the match. He also did a flying armbar towards the end of the match. Got a near submission on Sabre.
Yeah.
But, ultimately it came down to Sabre getting him in the Napalm Death and tapping out Umino.
Yeah, was that the Napalm Death he got him in?
I thought it was.
I'm trying to remember. I felt like it was a leg submission he doesn't utilize as often, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But the finish did kind of come from out of nowhere. They didn't really build to it. Mm-hmm. That was something they didn't need to do that, and that maybe that's not the story they're telling. So I'm not going to criticize them, but with how strong Umino looked, I would have liked to see him really kind of put up that epic struggle just before he tapped, but no, they kept Zack looking strong, and that was the one thing. It was a little underwhelming, but it made sense in the context, so I'm not going to harp against it too much. But as a whole, very, very strong match. Sabre got the win, and yeah, Umino had a really great outing. Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton did a great job too, like kind of putting this over as well.
Yeah, it's great stuff here. Question here from Reddit user Rambone Slampig. He says, can you give us some input on your thoughts about the possible excursion destinations of the more prominent young lions, examples, Narita, Umino, etc.?
Well, we get this question from time to time, and thank you for the question, but I don't think there's a lot of places for guys to go with the current wrestling landscape and how things have shaped up. I mean, there is an IWGP partnership between multiple companies, and it's pretty much New Japan, CMLL, Ring of Honor, Rev Pro, and Melbourne City Wrestling. Am I forgetting anybody?
No, I think you nailed it all.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
And last year we had a lot of young lions. Some of them are ready to go for excursion. We were having the same kind of discussion, and the wrestling landscape was much more like open and permissive, and it seemed that things were open for more partnerships, and we were like, well, maybe they could go to Impact, or maybe they could go to here or there, but now it's like with the battle lines that have been drawn. I mean, I don't think there's anywhere in Japan that they could go. I don't think that there's anywhere. I mean, if they're going to go to England, they're going to go to Rev Pro.
Right.
If they're going to go to the US, they're going to Ring of Honor.
Right.
They're not going to work indies. They're not going to go to Evolve or WWN. Like, they're working Ring of Honor. And if they go to Mexico, they're working CMLL. Now they might work smaller indies that are connected to those companies, or that they can get bookings with out of those companies, but they're going to be based out of those companies. So I don't think there's really a lot of speculation. Is there anywhere else in Europe that they could go aside from Rev Pro, I'm thinking?
I don't think so, because pretty much everybody else is partnered with WWE, right? There's only a few that are not.
Is what's the German company?
WXW?
I don't know if WXW is officially partnered with anybody.
No, but so Walter's under WWE contract, but he's still allowed to train at the WXW dojo.
Yeah.
And still, he's working the 16 karat gold tournament. So I'm assuming that maybe there's some kind of allegiance there.
Yeah, it's a little less underwhelming in some sense because there's not as many places that they could hypothetically go to. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's kind of nice because you've got strong, stable working relationships that can turn out stars, which is really what you're looking for in the long run anyways.
Yeah. And I think all of the promotions in their partnership are all great options for them to go to.
We've also seen in the past where guys, like, for instance, we've seen where Show and Yo started in Mexico and then made their way over to Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. And they've done that with other guys in the past too. I know they did that with Kamatachi as well. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily impossible that they might spend time in multiple spots. I also have a feeling that they really are going to try to shore up this, I forget what the word is, but all the different, oh man, I really want to remember this word, but I can't remember. But like Australia and like all those countries that are around there, what would that like? I don't want to say Polynesian. It's not Polynesian,
yeah.
But like, yeah, they haven't really sent anybody on an excursion there yet, mm-hmm. and I wouldn't be that surprised if they ended up sending someone to work in like New Zealand, Australia, and the surrounding islands.
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting spot to go.
Because you got to figure if you've already got young lions in several other places, where are you going to send your guys? And also, if you want to, forge strong relationships with those, companies that are down under, that's where you might want to send a guy.
Yeah, Fale's been doing a lot of work down there in that area with his dojo. So sending some young lions in that territory would be probably reasonable.
I just don't know if they view it as being a strong enough, experience, like a place where guys can get enough experience from enough veterans, that sort of thing.
Right.
Whereas, like, obviously they go to Mexico and there's a wealth of knowledge,
Right. Same with Fred Pro and Ring of Honor, and all those pretty much have TV. And
I'll tell you, most of the guys that have gone to, in my opinion, the best place for guys to go is to Mexico.
Yeah, CMLL.
They have more success. The guys that go to Mexico end up having more success than anywhere else. I'm not opposed to guys going to Rep Pro or to Ring of Honor, but they don't tend to be utilized as well as they possibly could be. And they're working less dates. They're, less experience. Like, there just doesn't seem to be as much upside to being sent to those locales as there is when they go to Mexico. I mean, they're working all the time. Mm-hmm. Whole different kind of style. Whole different. I mean, obviously it's different culture either way, but like, yeah. I mean, you look at the track record of how many guys have gone to Mexico and how many of them have come back and become huge stars, and I mean, it's a proven formula.
Yeah. Proven
beyond a shadow of a doubt.
So another question from Twitter user at 91 Reasons You Lose. He says, I personally thought Narita versus Skrull and Umino versus ZSJ were the best matches on the card on night one. Do you think they are ready for excursion now?
I wouldn't be. I'm. It's funny. I'm pretty close to feeling the same way that they are. I think there's two matches in my opinion that were better than those, but I wouldn't fight you on that opinion at all. As far as being ready for excursion, they're pretty much ready, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with these two showcase matches, I mean, yeah, I think they're ready.
Dude, I mean, Umino's had now 3 really, really good and awesome singles matches. This match with Zack Sabre, the one he had with Shingo Takagi, and the one he had with Daisuke Sekimoto. And not only just that, but like the matches he's had with Nagata, the matches he's had with his, what's his tag team partner's name?
Who, Ayato Yoshida?
Yeah, the matches he had with Yoshida. Yeah, the guy can go. There's no denying it. And I think that they might be about ready to go on excursion. Same thing with Ren Narita. So.
Yeah, I could see them going soon. I mean, we're going to talk about another big match Umino's going to have a little bit later. But, yeah, I can definitely see these guys going in the future. So let's get back to the card here. Next match we had Jushin Thunder Liger and Jonathan Gresham defeating Taiji Ishimori and Robbie Eagles. And, man, what an interesting match. It only went 5 minutes and 28 seconds.
Yeah.
Majority of the match was Gresham and Eagles. I thought Gresham looked great here. There's some great chain wrestling between both of these guys. Gresham was out wrestling Eagles. The fans were getting into Gresham, getting behind him. He was getting over. And then he makes the tag to Liger, and Eagles tags in Ishimori. And Liger quickly does this running, jumping cradle thing and pins Ishimori out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was really interesting. I was a little surprised by some of this. So I think they did a good job of getting Jonathan Gresham over a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But not the way that they did with, like, say, Flip Gordon last year.
Yeah.
Like,
Flip got a showcase triple threat match.
Yeah, and I mean, once you saw Flip last year, you're like, oh, this guy's got to be in the best Super Juniors. If you know Jonathan Gresham and you're a fan, you probably feel that way. But based off this match, you wouldn't think he has to be in the best Super Juniors. You would think that would be cool if he was in it.
Yeah.
And then with Robbie Eagles, nothing here screamed to me Robbie Eagles needs. I mean, it wasn't really his style of wrestling, so you can't knock him too much, but he didn't get his stuff in at all.
Yeah, it's pretty much the mission of this match. There's two things: get Gresham over and get Liger over with the surprise win.
The first one they only did, I would say, halfway. I think the fans were into it, and I think it was a cool little showcase, but I don't think it was enough for me to be like, that was impressive. Mm-hmm. This guy made his mark and he capitalized. And I'm not trying to bury him too much. I just didn't feel like there was enough. I mean, what did you think?
No, I thought it was a good debut. I mean, obviously, it would have been better if he had a full 10, 15-minute one-on-one match.
Yeah.
But I thought with the time he had, I thought it was a good debut, a good introduction to the fans. The fans took a liking to him. You know,
it was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What can you do in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
But I thought that the Liger pin fall out of nowhere creates the element of surprise and shock.
I freaking popped for that, dude. I did not see that coming. I was expecting those guys to run it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden Liger's pinning this guy.
Ishimori sold this loss, like, excellently.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Ishimori was losing his mind and, arguing that the referee fast countered him. So Liger pulled up upset that builds to the anniversary show. That gives the seed of doubt in Ishimori's mind that, Liger can, beat him at any second. And I'm sure this spot will be a tease in their title match.
Yeah, this isn't anything that I would say, oh, this was a great match. But it was entertaining for what it was. It was interesting for sure. And if you're going to check out the card, I would still give it a recommended watch just because of what it was.
Yeah.
For the story elements and then also to see Jonathan Gresham. Yeah, I thought this accomplished what it needed to. Again, my only knock was I think I've seen Jonathan Gresham do more, and I know he's got more in him, and I wish we would have got a little more of that.
Yeah.
In fact, I wish we would have seen an interaction that got both him and Robbie Eagles over to the point where I'm like, all right, I need both these guys in the Super Juniors. And at this point, I'm like, we're going to get them, and it's going to be good, but I'm not blown away.
Yeah. And then Reddit user Maserati said, how about that shock pinfall from Liger on Bone Soldier, which we just kind of covered. Yeah, I mean, definitely didn't see that coming. Thought it was great storytelling building to the anniversary show.
I liked it. Obviously, I love Liger, so, I'm all about it.
The next matchup, we had Hanma, Toa Hanare, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay defeating the team of Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Jay and Mark Briscoe. We had Finlay and Juice Robinson coming out to the Lifeblood music. Kind of confused the Corkin crowd at first.
They didn't know who it was.
Yeah, they were like, what's this music? Who is this? But yeah, it's their Ring of Honor Lifeblood music.
I think it's confusing because we don't know if it's canon or not, but it's a Ring of Honor show, but it's Japan, so it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the GOD entrance, we saw the return of Hikuleo, who's been out with a knee injury. Hikuleo was supposed to be, back for a while now. We ran into Hikuleo several months ago, and he told us that he would be returning soon. But now he's finally back. He came out here with his brothers. For you who don't know, Hikuleo is the younger brother of Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. So he made his return here, rocking his Bullet Club shirt. And, of course, God was accompanied by Gato as well. So you had the whole little Bullet Club crew out there. And, I thought this was an all right match. Finley and Juice Robinson worked so well together. And the story of this match here was kind of the dissension between Gorillas of Destinies and the Briscoes. Several points throughout the match, they were not working well together and often bumping into each other, and just not kind of a lot of miscommunication.
I'll say this. I might have gone back and forth, but ultimately I was right, because I said these two teams, even though they're both heels, they're going to have heat with one another. There's going to be issues of communication, and that's exactly what we saw here. It's exactly what we saw. So, God and the Briscoes, they just never were able to get on the same page. Two completely different kinds of teams, two completely different ideologies, and it was interesting. I didn't think that this match was great by any means.
It was whatever. Obviously, the most important thing was not really the match, but
setting up the matches for the next night.
Right, and the angle at the end.
Yeah.
So towards the end, Juice, he escaped the Doomsday Device attempt. Mark Briscoe got sent into the ropes, where Jado accidentally nailed him with the kendo stick. So obviously it wasn't really clear, but I'm pretty sure he was trying to hit Juice. But Juice took advantage, rolled Mark up, and got the pin.
I'll roll you up, brother.
Then after the match, we had a little brawl with the Tongans and the Briscoes.
They separated the teams, but that's the first little rift, the first little tease to a program down the road between these two teams, which makes sense. So, this match did its job. And then with Juice and, let's just call him Lifeblood, with Lifeblood getting a title challenge for the next night, it made sense that they'd pick up the win here to, kind of build to that match the next night. So, good match all around.
Yep. Next matchup, we had Toru Yano, Togi Makabe, and Ryusuke Taguchi.
Togi Makabe is Togi, not today.
Defending their never six-man tag titles against the Ring of Honor team of Colt Cabana, Cheeseburger, and Delirious. The champions retained over the Ring of Honor challengers. This was, if you love comedy wrestling, this was the match for you to watch. You had, Cabana doing his stuff, Yano doing his stuff, Yano being scared of Delirious.
Like, actually scared of him.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. This is a man who, regularly wrestles Minoru Suzuki and is fine. And then he sees this geek with no shoes on and just,
speaking gibberish, and he's scared. And then, there was the spots where he's, trying to take off, a turnbuckle pad. And all this is the Ring of Honor show. We had the American, turnbuckles. It took them much longer to get the pads off. And obviously, it's not as much. You can't really use those as a weapon like you could, the bigger, longer pads. So that was pretty funny.
We did get a turnbuckle pad duel between Cabana and Yano.
Yeah.
Just like they did at the 2017 Global Wars, which was kind of hilarious. Lots of funny stuff. Cheeseburger was entertaining as always, bumping like a madman, and trying to just choke slam everybody and just be the big man in there.
He pulled the Shote.
Yeah, he's doing the Shote. It's hilarious.
Yeah, cause, Liger passed down the Shote to Cheeseburger. Ultimately, this came down with Taguchi to used Cabana to distract the referee, which allowed Yano to hit a low blow, and then a schoolboy on Delirious for the pin. After the match, there was some dissension between Cabana and Delirious ended up hitting Cabana with a low blow after the match, and Yano helped Cabana up, which was to set things up for the next night.
Yeah.
So then next we had Will Ospreay defeating Dalton Castle to retain the Never Openweight Championship match.
Dalton Castle and the boys.
That's right. He had boys this night.
Yep.
They were.
I think he has boys every night.
Yeah.
Accompanying him to the ring.
Yes. Yeah. He has boys in every territory he goes to.
He actually does have.
He does. Yeah, these boys look awfully familiar. Yota Tsuji and Yuya Mora were his boys tonight. And for me, this was my match of the night. I thought this was a really great match here. Ospreay and Castle. We mentioned last week we just didn't know how Castle was going to perform with his back injury, and he was wearing the brace in this match. But I thought Dalton looked pretty good in this match, and Ospreay always looks great. And yeah, I really enjoyed this match.
I think Dalton is still working with his injuries and limitations. I'm not going to bury him or anything like that, but I think it's important to point out that with a guy who's hurt like that, I wouldn't say Will Ospreay carried him, because that's not what this was, but Will Ospreay is so intelligent and so smart, and maybe both these guys are. They were able to lay out a style of match to work around those deficiencies and around those issues to basically create a match that was highly entertaining. And man, they had great near falls, like great action, great peaks and valleys. Like, they told an awesome story here. It's one of the better Dalton Castle matches I've seen in probably since his match with Jay Lethal.
Yeah, this was almost a strong style match at some points. I mean, there was a lot of great strong strike exchanges between both men. Dalton Castle used his amateur wrestling background and had some beautiful throws on Ospreay. Ospreay hit a nice looking Space Tiger drop at one point. There was a very scary part of this match where Will Ospreay is going for the Oz Cutter, and Castle is supposed to catch him in midair and do a German, but the timing didn't end up quite right, and Ospreay got tipped and almost landed on his head.
Yeah,
I gasped when that happened.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh, Ospreay almost died. He literally rotated just enough not to lay on top of his head. It was crazy.
How many times are we gonna see that with Ospreay?
A lot.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned the strong style. That is something I've thought about when I was watching this. I thought to myself, maybe Dalton Castle should start utilizing more strike-based offense because of the limitations physically that he's suffering. That maybe he should become more physical with his strikes to kind of compensate. I don't know, just a thought, because he seemed pretty aggressive here, and it was kind of impressive. And I was like, that might be a little wrinkle he wants to focus a little bit more on,
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this match, and towards the end here, Ospreay hits a Spanish fly, takes a flip bump off a lariat. Castle hits a gut wrench throw for a near fall. Then Ospreay comes back with a Frankensteiner. He hits the hidden blade, then the Stormbreaker, and gets the pin. And man, that hidden blade, it's vicious, man.
I mean, dude, there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of near falls, but when it came down to it, it was very definitive. Like you said, the reverse Rana, the Marufuji kick, the hidden blade, and then the Stormbreaker, and that was all she wrote. And very, very, very impressive. I mean, dude, they're putting Ospreay over so strong right now. He beats Davey Boy Smith. He has maybe the match of the night against, a broken down Dalton Castle. Very impressive stuff, man. Very impressive.
Yeah, dude. Ospreay he's on fire, man. I'm loving this Never title run.
So for me, this next match, we got Jeff Cobb defending the Ring of Honor World TV title against Hiroki Goto. These two had their first singles match last year in July at the Cow Palace show. At the time, Goto was the Never Openweight champion, and he retained his title over Jeff Cobb. And they've been trying to have a rematch, and like we mentioned last week on the show, 2 or 3 times now they've had to reschedule.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen at the Lions Break show, but Cobb couldn't make it, and then it was supposed to happen at the
New Beginning
USA. In the USA, but Goto couldn't make it because of the visa issues. So we finally got the match here.
3rd time's the charm. Mm-hmm. So, and I thought that this was a very good match, and I think that this could hypothetically have also been match of the night. In fact, for me, I think it was the match of the night, but it depends on the time of the day. You might be able to convince me that Will Ospreay match was better. I don't know. But this was still very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match. Like I mentioned earlier, for me, the Ospreay Castle match was my favorite. But I enjoyed this match. This was a big Haas match here, with both of these guys just slugging away at each other.
What did you think about Goto using one of the young lions to attack Cobb?
That was hilarious. Like, he suplex one of the young lions onto Cobb on the outside. So pulling a page out of Suzuki's book there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a good back and forth match. A nice little strong style match here. Both these guys slugging away with each other. Lots of lariats, lots of kicks. I mean, Cobb's just so impressive with the stuff he can do, and his standing moonsault and some of the different throwing techniques that he uses always looks impressive.
The match that they had in the Cow Palace, I had high hopes for, and I was a little disappointed. I had high hopes here again, and I'd probably go about 4 stars here. I liked this match a lot, but I was still kind of disappointed once again.
Yeah, and I tweeted that out. I was like, this was a good Haas match, but it still didn't meet the higher expectations I had for the match.
Especially with it being a second meeting in Japan with more time and not necessarily more working time, but like since their last match, time to grow as performers, time to kind of work on things, plan things out. I mean, heck, this is the 3rd time they're supposed to have the match. You'd think they'd have it laid out, but I don't want to take too much away from them. It's just I always have high expectations for this match. It always just kind of is a little under-delivers, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, overall it was good. But
it was good.
But I was hoping for it a little bit better.
But ultimately, they traded a bunch of big moves in the closing minute. The closing minute was really, really great. But ultimately, Cobb was able to put Goto away with Tour of the Islands. And, so that really put Jeff Cobb over in a strong way. We've been seeing Jeff Cobb in New Japan sporadically over the last few years now. The last 2 World Tag Leagues. The shows in the United States. He also did a tour last year. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Where he had some singles matches. That's actually the tour where they set up the match between him and Goto for the Cow Palace.
Yeah, I'm blanking on which
Destruction tour maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Something like that. But, Jeff Cobb, they've got a lot in store for him in Ring of Honor and hopefully in New Japan. I'm hoping he's in the Climax this year.
Yeah. I'm all
about Jeff Cobb in the G1 Climax.
Yeah, sign me up for that.
Yeah. But, so he picks up the win here and a very solid match.
Yeah, which brings us to our main event on night 1. We had the Mega Aces here with Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kazuchika Okada, and the Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal. They defeated the Kingdom of Matt Taven, TK O'Ryan, and Vinny Marcellia.
They beat him. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, this main event was fine. It was almost like a little house show main event. Clearly, Tanahashi, Okada, and Jay Lethal were the stars of this matchup.
I like that they all came out with the long coats on.
Yes.
The crowd was really into that.
Yeah. And, crowd was really into Lethal. But, yeah, I mean, the Kingdom, like I mentioned last week, I'm not a fan of these Kingdom guys.
Who is?
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
You know who is? Floyd Johnson.
Yes, shout out to Floyd, co-host of All Things Elite here on the network. Yeah, he messaged me. It was like, he's popping what we call them, like, Kingdom bums and, like, why we didn't like them and stuff like that. He was like, I listened to 2 New Japan podcasts. You and both the other one do not like the Kingdom. You both buried them. And I was like, dude,
somebody's got to bury them.
I can't get into them, dude. Like, I'm not down with Vinny and the whole Horror King and the red balloons. Like, TK O'Ryan,
Actually, the red balloon is like the one thing that I think kind of works. It's the one thing that I'm like, that kind of is funny. It kind of works, but it's not a main event act. You know, it's a mid card act. Like, these guys would not be. I don't know. It just screams like minor leagues to me. Like, there's nothing that. I don't know. You know, watching Matt Taven and Michael Bennett and
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole. That was like a polished, put together. Like, this is like real heels. Like, this is now it's just Matt Taven and geeks.
Yeah,
that is what it feels like. It feels like Matt Taven and two geeks.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, but like that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, these guys really didn't stand out here at all. I mean, this was all.
You could put Rhett Titus in the Kingdom. You could put, who are some other geeks in Ring of Honor that you could literally interchange some guys and it'd be the same.
Yeah.
Rhett Titus is one of the guys that immediately comes to mind for some reason.
Oh, because Rhett Titus is the ultimate Ring of Honor mid card. He's been there like 10 years and he's been in the same spot.
Who else is there that you could just like throw in there?
You could put Shane Taylor in there.
Shane Taylor. At this point, I almost feel like you could throw Kenny King in there. As bad as that sounds.
I like Kenny King.
I like Kenny King too. But that's like how they've kind of mishandled him and how he like is viewed.
Yeah, I mean Silas Young.
But here's the thing: Silas Young had that incredible run a couple years ago, and he looked like he was going to be a main eventer. And then I don't know what they've done with him since then. I think Silas Young is a really good act if allowed to be. But
pretty much anybody at this point. I mean, it's Matt Taven and Jags,
it's just they're Jags. I think they suck,
and it just felt like a mismatch. Like this felt like almost like a job match where you had the three big stars in the territory facing off against these local talent and like just cleaned them up.
I told you what this was last week. I told you it's Hulk Hogan, Sting, Lex Luger, and Randy Savage taking on the Dungeon of Doom in the War Games, the Shark, the Taskmaster. I don't remember who was in that match. The Zodiac, and somebody else. It's like they're not winning.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a fine match. I mean, the crowd seemed like they were having fun. It was fun to be there live, but on TV, I mean, this came across as nothing special.
I think the one thing is, they seemed to kind of be into Jay Lethal for the first time, like, maybe ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him wrestling to, like, crickets in the Tokyo Dome. And I remember him wrestling pretty much to crickets every time he's been in New Japan. And for the first time, he was seen on a level where the people were, like, kind of behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was teamed with the Mega Aces. So maybe that's good.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Lethal was definitely over here in this matchup. But
it's a corking crowd, and it's Tokyo, and that's a smarky crowd. And also, they're there to watch a Ring of Honor show, so they want to see the Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, but even last year's Honor Rising, I don't feel Lethal was as over as he was here. Yeah.
He was not.
But yeah, towards the end of this match, the Kingdom went for the triple powerbomb. Tanahashi and Okada broke it up with Sling Blade and a drop kick, and Lethal hit the lethal injection on Vinny for the pin. Then post-match, the Kingdom jumped Lethal after the match to try and soften him up for tomorrow, the next night's title match. And Lethal cut a promo on Orion, and that was in the show. You get the Mega Aces celebrating.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid show, top to bottom. I didn't love the main event, but it was fine for what it was. But I mean, you had 4 really solid singles matches.
Yeah.
And 2 of them involved young lions. Plus, you kind of had that really fun 5-minute tag team match with the juniors with Ishimori and Liger. So, I would give this a very solid recommend.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely, go
ahead. I think this is one of the best...
Honor Risings.
Yeah. And one of the best New Japan shows of the year so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to get that coveted Show of the Year nomination, but a really good show nonetheless.
Yeah, good stuff.
How long was this show?
It was almost 3 hours.
The shows were shorter last year. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah,
they were like only like
2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I remember last year them being very reminiscent to like a takeover, and these ones were a bit longer.
Yeah.
Which I'm not necessarily complaining, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just different.
And a question here from Reddit user Maserati. He says, do people really like this Kingdom act? Are they enjoying them ironically? And
people like them, dude.
yeah, there's I'm telling you, there are diehard Ring of Honor fans that love the Kingdom.
Ring of Honor fans love him. Floyd Johnson loves him. Floyd loves him.
The Honor Club girls. I don't know if you're not really on Twitter.
Are there Honor Club girls?
Yeah, there's a group.
Wait, what is that?
There's these girls on Twitter.
I'm part of Honor Club. There's girls. Tell me about these Honor Club girls, Jeremy.
There's a group of girls on Twitter that call themselves the Honor Club girls, and they always tweet during TV tapings and live events.
What? You're saying there's some Mark chicks out there that like the Kingdom?
Yeah, dude, they love the Kingdom.
Well, then I'm probably not gonna be down with them.
And
I really see that's my problem. That's why I would never ever want to date a wrestling fan. Because what if they have bad taste in wrestling? Like I couldn't get past that.
That's why you got to date a smart mark.
Yeah, but that they are being smart marks. Like they're super smart.
Yeah,
like, they like the Kingdom, and I couldn't get with that. You know what I mean? Like, what if like she's like, I love wrestling, and I'm like, oh, who do you like? She's like, the Kingdom. I'm like, do you like Ronnie Garvin? And she's like, who? And then it wouldn't work.
Yeah. Maserati. Yeah, there are people who actually like the Kingdom. I'm not one of them, but
after this show's over, let's look up those.
Let's
look up those Honor Club chicks.
I think Caleb Baldwin's actually pretty good friends with one of them.
Really?
Yeah, or at least they know each other somehow. But anyway, let's move on to Honor Rising Night 2. Show opened up with Toa Henare and Jonathan Gresham.
Shout out to Caleb.
Defeating Zack Sabre Jr. and Taka Michinoku. So once again, the pairing of Sabre and Taka lose again. I did find the pre-match promo hilarious. Taka was he was speaking English.
Yeah, he did the whole thing in English
for both promos on both nights.
But he did a condensed version, not like the whole long one.
Yeah, but for Gresham, he was like, who the hell are you? He's like, Toa Henare, whoever you are, we're gonna beat you. But yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. But Gresham and Sabre picked up where they left off at Final Battle. They had a lot of cool exchanges, a lot of really great technical wrestling between both of those guys.
Yeah, Zach and Jonathan have faced off plenty of times, but the Final Battle is the one that's most recently in people's minds and memories. But very familiar with one another, and I thought that this match did a way better job showcasing what Gresham is capable of, and really wowed the people because Gresham he's an incredible escape style wrestler, and he excels at that. And Zach was able to put him in trouble time and time again, and he just kept escaping and frustrating him, which is really cool.
And the fans know how good Sabre is with technical wrestling and tying people up. So the fact that Gresham was able to escape definitely helped get him over.
It reminded me of the late, great Steve Gray. Actually, I don't know if Steve Gray is dead or not, but if you guys ever get a chance, if you are World of Sport marks, which you probably aren't, but you should be, you need to see Steve Gray. William Regal has called him the greatest escape-style wrestler that ever lived, and I agree. But Jonathan Gresham was very much in the vein of Steve Gray here. Trust me. Check out Steve Gray. He's the best.
And then Gresham here, he hit a very nice shooting star press. And then he got Taka in his finishing hold, the octopus stretch, and tapped Taka out.
Fun way to kick off the show. What do you think about Taka taking all the pinfalls for Zach? Do you think that this is building to something, or do you think it's just he just sucks?
I think it's just Taka. He's a fall guy here. I think we could be seeing a Gresham Sabre rematch at Madison Square Garden. Sabre.
Oh, I would be all in on that.
Sabre cut a promo during Ring of Honor taping saying he was going to be at MSG. Clearly here, we know Sabre, he beat Gresham the first time. Gresham got a win over his guy here. This could be building to a rematch.
I don't really care how we got to get there. Let's just get there. I'm all about that. Actually, on this show, are we going to talk about any of these rumored Madison Square Garden matches that have been talked about, or no? Are we going to hold off till something more official's in the air?
I think we could hold off.
Okay, yeah, because there's some matches that I'm like, people talking about selling their tickets, people talking about like, oh, I'm going to go hit the city up for the night. You might want to hold on to those tickets. Some of this stuff is looking kind of good.
Yeah, dude,
Oh, Jay White's going to be there. No, there really are some like really like good looking matches that I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So Gresham and Toa win here. Like I said, I think we might be seeing a rematch with Gresham and Sabre.
Toa Hinari won a match. That's cool.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Toa. Next up, we had the clash of a former Bullet Club Junior and a current Bullet Club Junior. The villain, Marty Scurll, defeated the Sniper of the Sky, Robbie Eagles. And this was a match that I was wrong about. I thought that they were going to try to get Eagles over. But Marty, once again, pulled out a win here. Honestly, I thought this match was fine. I didn't think it was, blow away or anything out of this world. What do you think about it?
I think I liked it a little more than you seem to be saying right now. I mean, what would you rated it?
Probably like 3.25, 3.5, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a little higher on it than that. I thought these two guys worked well together. This is the first Robbie Eagles singles match we've seen in New Japan, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, wait. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I think I should probably take a victory lap because last week I did say there's no way in hell Marty Scurll is losing to Robbie Eagles on a Ring of Honor show, much less. So that's definitely not happening. But I thought Eagles was somewhat impressive. He had a really good Frankensteiner off the top rope. They had good, exchanges of holds. Marty wasn't doing all the shtick stuff. He was actually coming to work and like kind of, show people something. It was a sprint, I didn't think it was the greatest match of the night or anything. But I had fun watching. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, and I guess the reason I'm kind of down on it is like you got Marty Scurll, and then you got Robbie Eagles, a guy that people are claiming is the Will Ospreay of Australia. So I was expecting a little bit of a higher level match.
I'll tell you what. The only matches I've seen Robbie Eagles have Will Ospreay level performances against is Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Other than his matches with Will Ospreay, I've never seen anything to indicate to me that he's blow away. But then again, Will Ospreay's carrying Dalton Castle to 4-star matches, and he's carrying Taichi to 4-star matches. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So for me to jump on this Robbie Eagles bandwagon, and there's probably people out there listening right now who are like, you don't know what you're talking about. Robbie Eagles is excellent. You're probably right. But he's got to show it to me. And I just haven't really seen it yet.
Yeah. So Scurll slapped on the crossface chicken wing. Eagles tapped out immediately. And another victory for the villain.
They didn't have a lot of time, though, but I felt like they made the most out of the time that was given to them.
Yeah. And, I'm not 100% sure when Scurll's contract extension ends with Ring of Honor. I've been hearing all kind of different dates and times. But I'm really hoping that it's long enough for him to be in the Best of Super Juniors.
Scurll?
Yeah.
I would kind of be surprised if he's in Best Super Juniors this year.
Even if his Ring of Honor contract is long enough?
I have a feeling like that he won't want to work as a junior in New Japan going forward. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I feel like.
That could be it, but I just feel they need as much stars as they can in that tournament.
That's true. And so maybe the only way I could maybe see them doing that or him agreeing to it is if he's like, okay, I'll work it, but you're going to have to, like, put me, like, basically I'm going to have to go to the finals.
Yeah. But then again, like I said, I have no idea when his contract is officially up. So he might not even be able to be a part of Best of Super Juniors. So
That's a possibility, yeah, because we keep hearing different things. If anybody out there seems to know when his contract is definitively up, give us a ring. Actually, you can't ring us because you don't have our phone number. How can they contact us?
Hit us up. Yeah, slide in the
Twitter.
DMs are open.
I don't know.
At KI Strong Style. Just
the Reddit.
Yeah, let us know if you have any tidbits on Skrull here. I know that he'll be wrestling. He's advertised for MSG. He will be challenging Nick Aldis for the NWA title later in April as well. Representing Ring of Honor, so we'll see.
Oh my God! If he wins, then we're gonna have to hear in the group thread every week from Caleb, the current Ring of Honor the current NWA World's Champion Marty Scurll. This dude doesn't even like Marty Scurll, but he's gonna love him just because he won the NWA title.
Yeah, I kind of want Scurll to win that match though.
Why? Because you just don't like Nick Aldis that much?
Yeah. But I love Skrull, though, and I think it'd be great for Skrull to get a world title.
It's not even really a world title, though.
I don't know. Nick Aldis is out there defending it all over the place.
Man.
China.
Yo, the last time that was a world title was in 1990 when Ric Flair held it. Since then, it's literally been irrelevant. It's nothing. It should be a regional belt.
Yeah. I can't argue with it.
You can't argue with it because it's totally true.
Yeah. But let's get back on track here. So the next matchup we had, this match was actually changed because of the angle on night one. Originally, this was supposed to be a 6-man tag match with Colt, Delirious, and Cheeseburger facing off against 3 Young Lions. But due to the angle on night one and the fallout between Delirious and Cabana, New Japan officials changed the matchup to Colt Cabana and Toru Yano against Delirious and Cheeseburger, and Cabana and Yano got the win here against Delirious and Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger came out here in the green and black and his own version of Delirious's mask, and Delirious was his trainer in the Ring of Honor dojo, so kind of showing some respect there. But this again was almost another comedy match. You had Cabana and Yano on the same page, and they were doing the double break spots, break, and they were just doing a lot of similar stuff. And
very funny.
There's one point where Yano is once again struggling to get the American ring pads off, but Cabana had hidden the Japanese pads under the ring and gave them to Yano to use for a weapon. But ultimately it came down to Cabana and Delirious.
Do you remember Ring of Honor used to have those?
The Japanese pads? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just bring them back.
They should. I like it. It's a different presentation.
I hope that AEW has Japanese ring pads.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of ring they do end up having.
8-sided. An octagon.
Oh my gosh.
And there won't be ropes. It'll just be a cage.
Oh my gosh.
That will be different.
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 But it came down to Cabana and Delirious. Cabana cut Delirious off. He hit the Chicago skyline, and then he did his little Superman roll-up pin and got the win here. So Cabana and Yano got the win. And we have a question here from Twitter user at 91 Reasons You Lose. He said he loved Yano and Cabana as a team. What do you guys think of them, and what do you think their chances are of seeing Yano and Colt in the World Tag League?
I thought it was interesting. There was a backstage comment from Taguchi. It didn't really make sense, and it causes confusion because he said that Yano recruited Colt Cabana to Taguchi Japan.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can Yano do that? But yeah.
Well, I think Taguchi's under the impression, since Yano is a Never Six-Man champion with him, that he's a part of Taguchi Japan.
Oh, because he's the coach.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so
he said Yano seemed to recruit Colt Cabana to Taguchi Japan successfully. This is the vacuum of power of Taguchi Japan. The suction of Taguchi Japan is superior.
Dude.
It's between Taguchi Japan and Dyson. Dyson's latest model is the V10, so we should work hard to get to version 10. It's hilarious.
Dude, Taguchi is freaking hilarious.
I will tell you this, though. I used to sell vacuums door to door, and suction has nothing to do with its effectiveness. It's all about airflow. Always remember that.
Dude, vacuum tip of the day.
Vacuum tip of the day.
So
speaking of which, we need to get one for Strong Style Studios.
Yeah.
It's getting grody around here, and if I want to have a glitter party at some point,
I don't even want to know what happens at your glitter parties. So yeah, what do you think of Colt and Yano here as a team?
I think it's fun for what it is, and I think it's a cool one-off, but I don't think it's anything I would take seriously long-term. Could it be fun to see them like do a World Tag League like once? Like, sure. Yeah, I'd be about it, but that's about it. I think it's funny, but I don't take them serious. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for, a couple of one-offs, they're a nice little fun comedy team. For a World Tag League, especially this year, I can't really see that happening just because, I mean, Yano, he pretty much has so many tag partners. He could team with Makabe, he could team with Taguchi, he could team with
thinking
Ishii.
more like Colt gonna work like 20 dates, in Japan.
Well, Colt does have some more New Japan dates that we'll be talking about soon.
He does.
So,
you know what he is? He's Dustin.
Oh, Chucky T.
He's the new Chucky T in New Japan. Someone who doesn't belong here, but he's here. By golly.
Which is funny that
come hell or high water.
It's funny you mentioned that because on Ring of Honor TV last week, it was an episode where like Trent had a family emergency, and Chucky, they're supposed to go against the Briscoes, and so Chucky had to get a replacement, and he teamed with Colt Cabana.
Ah.
A little tie-in there.
The Spider-Man meme.
So next up we had Will Ospreay and Hiroki Goto defeating the team of Jeff Cobb and Dalton Castle. I thought this was a very good match. I loved the interactions between Ospreay.
I couldn't believe this.
What?
I couldn't believe how wrong I was from the week prior. You were right.
Yeah, man. I just I see the vision with Ospreay and just what they're trying to do with him, and I love the interactions with him, with Ospreay and Cobb. And dude, I popped huge when Ospreay got Cobb up for the Stormbreaker.
Yeah, when he got Jeff Cobb up for the Stormbreaker, you would think that my initial reaction or thought would be like, I can't believe he's doing this, or like, wow, this is unbelievable. But instead, it was like totally believable to me. I was like, wow, he's really doing this. This is happening. There he goes. Oh, all right. He hit it. 1, 2, 3. It's over.
Yeah.
The thing. Okay, my whole thing was this. There's no way Will Ospreay's losing to Dalton Castle on night 1. Night 2 rolls around. You got a team of Jeff Cobb and Dalton Castle going up against Will Ospreay and Hiroki Goto. So it's like, I don't think Jeff Cobb's taking the pinfall. So Dalton Castle's going to get beat twice? Nah. It's got to be Goto. I was totally banking on the idea that Goto is just going to lose 2 times in a row because it's Goto and you can do that to him. Whatever.
Yeah.
No. I was short-sighted. They had Will Ospreay beat Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
I didn't know, though, that he was going to beat, Davey Boy Smith Jr., and then Dalton Castle, and then Jeff Cobb. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, and it was definitely surprising for me because Cobb has been undefeated in Ring of Honor since he made his debut, came in, won the TV title in his first big matchup.
He hasn't even looked like he was going to lose any of these matches either.
Right, I mean, and Cobb's he's been mowing through people in Ring of Honor. I expect him to potentially,
He's getting the Rodney Mack treatment.
I expect Cobb. I can see Cobb being one of those guys that holds the TV title and the world title at the same time. Just how dominant he's been. But yeah, it was very surprising. Ospreay pins Cobb here, and
I thought this match was pretty good too.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I really enjoyed this match.
I did too. I was just under 4 stars with it, and I thought it was a really good tag team match.
Yeah. So with Ospreay pinning Cobb, this makes me think that we could be seeing some kind of champion versus champion match with Cobb and Ospreay at MSG.
That's what I think we're gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about it here in a moment, but we're gonna be getting another title versus title match on that show, New Japan versus Ring of Honor. And Jeff Cobb got pinned cleaned by Will Ospreay, which was a huge shock. So it does make you wonder if they're planning a singles bout at some point in the near future. And if there's a precedent of them doing title for title already, why not run it back?
Never title, TV title, both on the line.
Although that kind of sucks because if you think about it, the TV title is supposed to be essentially Ring of Honor's equivalent to the IC title.
Right.
Instead, it's the equivalent of the Never title. Like, it literally jumps, like, levels.
Yeah.
I think that, in all honesty, the Ring of Honor World title is probably on the same level as, like, what? The U.S. belt?
Really?
No, I'm just playing.
I was saying, wow. That.
But it's definitely not on the level of the IWGP title. So, like, what? Maybe the IC belt?
Yeah.
Chief.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, it's funny. But, yeah, man. Do you want to name Will Ospreay the Wrestler of the Month for February, like, now? Already? Like, is that what we're going to... Like, is it time? Do we need to do this?
I mean, we might as well.
I'm just playing. You ever play, like, Madden and, like, you have, like, the mercy rule, like, 21-0, and you call it, like...
Yeah.
We might just want to call it right now. Like, I remember being, like, last year at WrestleMania weekend, and Rich, all these shows we went to where Will Ospreay was clearly, like, the best wrestler on every single card, and he's like, dude, this man's coming for the gold. He wants the crown.
Coming for the crown, yeah.
Coming for the crown. Like, bro... He's really bro. In 2019, this man is coming for the crown.
Right now, this is Ospreay's year, man.
Bro, I feel like people about to be like, Kenny who? The funny thing is, like, Ospreay's starting to get on a trajectory right now where he could, if he keeps this up, he'll be Wrestler of the Year, and he's not a junior, so we're not going to get that whole like. Oh, but the G1 happened, so he's out. Like, he's going to have a G1. There's a very, very high likelihood that by the end of the year, Will Ospreay is the Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah.
Especially with all of the top talent that's going to AEW, that's going to be working, like, 2, 3 times, 4 times throughout the year.
It's Ospreay's year. Time to strike.
I know all the Kenny fans probably don't want to hear this, but it's probably not going to be Kenny's year this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So, next up, we had another...
I have a vision.
We had another tag match with Tetsuya Naito and Shingo Takagi defeating the Kingdom Bums, Matt Taven and Vinny Marseglia.
So, they beat the Kingdom, and the match after that... The match after that was Jay Lethal versus TK O'Ryan, and Jay Lethal beat him, so let's move on. So the Kingdom lost all 3 matches on Honor Rising. So the main event... I hate these guys.
So do I.
They suck.
They're the worst. And, so on the tag match, I felt once again this was the Shingo show.
Who would you want to win in a match? The Kingdom or Taichi and a tag team partner of what's his name from Chaos? Yoshihashi.
I think I take Taichi and Yoshihashi.
I absolutely take Taichi and Yoshihashi.
But yeah, the tag match, I mean, it was pretty much the Shingo show. Naito took the heat in the beginning part, and then pretty much Shingo came in, cleaned up house, and then they got some heat on Shingo, and then Naito came back in with a second hot tag, and Naito cleared up, and then Naito hit the Destino on Vinny for the win. And then, like you mentioned, the next match was Jay Lethal defeating TK O'Ryan for the Ring of Honor World title. You know, everybody saying...
You know what's funny is I joked about like that we should just say they beat him and then move on. Mm-hmm. But you actually are doing that, and it's hilarious. I love it right now.
I mean,
I don't even want to add anything. Like, let's do it.
I mean, there's nothing else to add. I mean, they beat these bums. Got them out of here. Like,
get the fuck out of here.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And then Lethal did the same thing to TKO Ryan. You know, they're trying to hype up TKO Ryan being like the breakout star of the kingdom. This guy's like a rising star, blah, blah, blah. But to me, I thought it was average match. It
wasn't good.
Yeah, TKO Ryan.
It was a showcase for Jay Lethal.
Yeah, Lethal looked good. Lethal
looked great.
Lethal worked hard.
Lethal always looks great.
Yeah, but TKO Ryan looked like a jag here to me.
Everyone thinks that Jay Lethal is a Ring of Honor guy. To me, he's a Tampa Bay Pro guy. For those of you that don't know, he is the trainer of the wrestling school for Tampa Bay Pro, and the
Lethal Academy.
The Lethal Academy. He does perform from time to time in Tampa Bay Pro.
Yeah, we've met Jay several times now. We've seen him.
Get him to do a drop.
Yeah.
For some reason, and I don't know why, I'm always intimidated to talk to Jay Lethal more than like any other wrestler.
I mean, I walked up to him, said hi to him, talked to him for a little bit. And
yeah, but when I talk to him, I'm like, hey, Jay. And then I move on.
Well, the problem is, man, that the Tampa Bay Pro shows are only like at noon now on Sundays. And like,
no, the problem is they're at the Big Top Convention
That's
Center.
A problem too, but
I will never go there.
But noon on Sundays, though. I've never been. I never want to go.
Bro, me and Rich went one time, and we saw like what I say is one of the best live matches I have ever seen in my life. Speaking of which, I know this is off subject, but if you guys ever get a chance to check out Hunter Law or Troy Hollywood, those are two of the bigger and more well-known indie talents based out of Florida. Check those guys out. Me and Rich saw them on a Sunday afternoon have what I would call a 4.5-star classic. Literally.
Yeah, both of those guys. Yeah, those guys.
And they're young in the industry. They're incredible. Both those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. And Troy and Hunter. Yeah, they're really great talent.
But yeah, we went and saw them have like a 4.5-star match. We walked out and said, never again. Never going back there again.
If you check the archives, Rich actually interviewed Troy Hollywood a few months ago, so you can check that out here on the network. And shout out to Hunter Law. He followed me on Twitter last week, so maybe we'll get him on the show here.
The funny thing is, we have so many guys we're supposed to get on that we just have not followed up with because we are irresponsible.
No, we're busy men, man.
We are busy. That is what it actually is. We're busy.
We're busy, and I mean, with our own shows, with our lives, but also just, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming up for Social Suplex that we're going to be having our hands full with the next few. I don't know what glitter it involves with, so I don't know if I want to sign off on that or on that or not.
Honor Club girls?
I can sign off on that.
Right. Run
it. But yeah.
What are the Honor Club girls? Are they a podcast?
No, they're fans.
They're on Twitter.
They're on Twitter.
It's a Twitter account.
Yeah, actually, one of the girls, she used to be on the Super Kicking It podcast. I'm not sure if it's still going or not.
It takes a lot of dedication to put in as much time as Keepin It Strong Style's put in.
Yeah, they're super Ring of Honor super fans. But yeah, back to this.
Those exist.
Yeah,
we had a show on this network that used to bury Ring of Honor every single week.
And, I'll say this: I've been watching Ring of Honor since the new reboot with the elite guys leaving and the new guys they're bringing in, and I've really been enjoying Ring of Honor TV the last few weeks. When you see Lifeblood. And kind of the whole, it seems like a random group of 6 people, but how they presented on TV, how they came together, made sense. I liked Lifeblood together. I'm liking Roosh on TV. I'm liking the stuff that they're doing with some of this new talent. I'm liking Billing Enterprises. So I would say, give Ring of Honor a shot. They are trying to establish new acts and new stars. And I think they've been having some really good matches on TV. And I think the anniversary pay-per-view is going to be pretty good.
Good, man.
But TKO Ryan, he's not getting the job done here.
Thank God.
Yeah. Jay Lethal ends up hits a lethal injection, gets the win. Matt Taven jumps Jay Lethal after the match, grabs the Ring of Honor World title, and says he'll see Lethal in Vegas for the anniversary show.
This was Jay Lethal's 40th successful title defense across 2 reigns, which puts him now in the record books as the most for holding the record for the most combined defenses of the Ring of Honor World title. 40 defenses.
Yeah, so congratulations, Jay. I mean, definitely a guy who deserves it and earned it.
And not only that, but you have to also combine it with his recent achievement of breaking the combined days as Ring of Honor World Champion, which means from a statistic standpoint, maybe he's the greatest Ring of Honor champion of all time. One of them.
Yeah.
Has to be.
That argument can definitely be made.
Yeah.
So now
he is the Bruno Sammartino of Ring of
Honor. Now we have the semi-main here, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Title match. The Guerrillas of Destiny defeat Sonata and Evil to become the new IWGP Tag Champions.
I'm glad they held off on this, and it's something that is new and fresh that I've never seen before.
But, I did think this was a good match, good action-packed match here between these two teams. I think it might be one of their better matches that they've had against each other.
You liked it better than the World Tag League Finals?
I forgot about that match.
You didn't like that match that much, remember? It was long.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of long. Yeah, I do think I like this match better than that one.
My biggest problem was, why didn't the Young Bucks come out at the end of this match and interrupt them
and get
and interject themselves into a future title defense? That's what I want to know.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, I thought this was a good back and forth match. Obviously, with Tama Tonga being back to being the bad guy, or the good bad guy as he's calling himself.
I don't know if I had predicted God to win or not.
I think you
did.
I think you did.
Because I was like, if it seems like they shouldn't win it, but with them changing the gimmick on him and everything like that, it just seems like that's where they're headed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they were headed. I thought this was fine. It was solid. I would have gone like 3.5 on it.
Yeah, that's about what I'm at. And pretty much so it came down towards the end where Tonga goes for the Magic Killer, but they shove Sonata into the ref. God takes control. They grab Sonata and hit the Super Power Bomb for the win.
I love the Super Power Bomb.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Jado was holding Evil, stopped Evil from making the save. So they got the win there, and we have new IWGP champions.
Do you know, historically speaking, that this was the first IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title change since like 1987 in Korakuen?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they haven't had a tag team title change in Korakuen since like the late 80s, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, so kind of surprising. What did you think here? I mean, were you surprised to see Evil and Sonata drop the belts at this point?
I wasn't completely surprised because they were building up Tama Tonga, and it seems like, they're trying to heat the Bullet Club up. Hikaleo's back. I think it just made a lot of sense to get the belts on these guys.
Yeah, when Hikaleo shows up, titles change. That's what happens.
Yeah, business is happening when the big man...
Business picks up.
Yes.
I mean, because you were saying that, like, Evil and Sonata were about to be, like, the Japanese Brody and Hansen and go on this, like, legendary, like, 2-year reign.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought that's what was going to happen, but with what's coming up, it made sense for Evil and Sonata to drop the belts based on their future plans, and it made sense for God to grab the belts here.
No, honestly, if I'm being totally serious, this second night was in a lot of ways not as good as the first night. And not to bury it or anything like that, but that's kind of why I'm making so many jokes, because like a lot of this seems kind of inconsequential to me. The same way, the first night seemed to be like it's kind of weird that I almost feel like this night should have been the first night.
Yeah,
the first night should have been the second night. But even though I predicted it, I was surprised to see God pick up the win here.
Yeah, I mean, in one hand, it's kind of surprising because Evil and Sonata, and they're just so over. But just with all the stuff they've been doing with Tama Tonga, like, I think it would totally have made no sense to just he's bad again, and then he just gets beat the first match back. Right.
Well, that does free up Evil and Sonata to potentially go on singles runs, especially with the New Japan Cup right on the horizon. So that kind of makes sense. And GOD is poised to be right back where they've been multiple times before. At the top of the tag team division, that doesn't matter with the tag team belts. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, so then the main event of the evening was the Ring of Honor tag title match with the champions, the Briscoes, defeating Lifeblood's Juice Robinson and David Finlay. Thought this was a pretty good match. Unfortunately, David Finlay suffered a separated shoulder towards the end of the match.
I think that was when they were doing the Doomsday device. Is that correct?
I think so. But yeah, I think it's going for the Doomsday spot, and then he just landed kind of weird. And then they pretty much went straight to the finish. Mark Briscoe hit another froggy bow on him to get the win.
I thought this tag match was much better than the GOD and LIJ match, but I thought the crowd wasn't as into it.
Yeah, the crowd was not in. Yeah, the crowd was
at all, and I was surprised this was the main event of the show.
Yeah. With the title change, I think I would have flopped. I would have had the title change to be the main event.
I just don't know if I would go with. I mean, I guess on the one hand, you would think because it's Juice and Finlay, and those are seen as Japanese guys, even though they're Westerners. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would. I still don't know if I would have gone with 4 Westerners. Yeah. Especially with them coming out with like the Lifeblood gimmick and the Lifeblood music, might be a little bit too much for the Corkin crowd at this point. It wasn't, but it was still a good match. It was by no means a bad match. It is unfortunate what happened with Finlay, but yeah.
Yeah, so Briscoes get the win here. Post the match, they get the mic. Jay gets the mic, and he calls out the Guerrillas of Destiny, and officially challenges them for a title versus title match for the G1 Supercard in New York, April 6th. And this will transition us into the news, and it's been confirmed and made official by Ring of Honor and New Japan officials that at G1 Supercard, the Briscoes will do battle with the Guerrillas of Destiny with both set of tag team titles on the line.
I guess my real question is, when Joe Koff had that sit-down meeting with the delegates of the IWGP, what that was really like. With just him on one side of the table and then the entire IWGP committee on the other side. That must have been a very interesting meeting.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they came to the decision that these, 2 teams needed to battle and go head-to-head so we could see who the true number 1 best tag team in the world is. So we're going to wind up with, hypothetically, double champions. GOD has never held the Ring of Honor championships. However, the Briscoes have held the IWGP Heavyweight Championships in the past. And whoever wins this will sit atop the tag team wrestling world because they will be the champion of both divisions.
Yeah. And, I do think this matchup is a little weird because they are 2 of the top heel tag teams in their promotions. So it's kind of weird having a heel versus heel, title versus title match.
That's weird. The other weird thing is that I think that the Briscoes are incredible. I think they're an incredible tag team. I don't think GOD is.
No.
I think they're capable of having very good matches when necessary, if with the right opponent. But I'm not confident that the Briscoes will pull that out of them, especially given the fact, like you said, that they're 2 heel tag teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird dynamic, and it's just I just don't see them as a good opponents for the Briscoes. I did hear somebody throw a suggestion out. What do you think about them making this a ladder war? We know the Briscoes are infamous for the ladder wars in Ring of Honor. Could that spice this matchup?
Well, I thought about that, and who did you hear say that?
I can't remember now.
That was going to be my suggestion, and I am not online, and so I thought that was a totally original thought, but I guess everybody probably is thinking of that. it's going to be Super Card of Honor, the G1 Super Card, quote unquote, but it's Super Card of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
They always do a ladder war. Also, keep in mind, and you and I discussed this before the show started, that during the 17th anniversary, the Briscoes have a title defense against
Villain Enterprises.
The team of PCO and Brody King. Those are two guys that you got to imagine are going to get onto the MSG card. Hypothetically, could there be some sort of storyline avenue where we end up with a triple threat match? It wouldn't be the first time that two different teams that were destined to have a big match on a big show wound up with a third team shoehorned in.
Yeah.
As I alluded to earlier. So, I mean, and again, it wouldn't be the same way how inserting the Young Bucks into the Wrestle Kingdom match made it a better match. I have a strong feeling that if they inserted PCO and Brody King into the match, it would make it better.
Oh, yeah. I'd be all about that.
Turn it into a ladder wars, you've got a classic on your hands.
Oh, yeah, especially with PCO. He's going to be out.
I'm worried about PCO.
Dude.
I don't want him to get hurt. He's like
I can only imagine the bump he would take in a ladder war.
Oh, my God. it would be, yeah, I'm really worried. PCO's not human, bro.
He's not, so you shouldn't be worried.
Also, speaking of PCO, if you guys want to go back into the archives, since we're mentioning archives, we do have an interview of PCO on this network. One with, actually two. We have two interviews with him.
Yeah, we do. One
with Wilfred and then one with Grown Men Watch This Shit. So, yeah, both very good interviews. So you would definitely want to check those out when you get a chance. But I think that I have a strong feeling that the people booking this show are looking for a way to work their way to a ladder war. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're off base. Maybe they're just going to do
a straight up tag, yeah.
But you got to imagine that whoever wins this match is going to wind up the tag team champions of both divisions. And I just have a strong feeling that they're not doing a double count out or a double DQ or a time limit draw.
Yeah, I think we're going to get
I think we're getting a clean finish.
Yeah, we're going to get a clean winner. And yeah, one of these teams are going to be, the champions of both companies.
Although they could always do the Josh Smith special. I've always had this idea that you do a match where when two titles are on the line, you have guys on each side pulling, and then they both fall back and they wind up.
Oh, if it's a ladder match?
I've never seen it actually happen, but I've always thought that this booking could happen. I'm not saying it's good booking. Yeah. I'm just saying it could happen where one guy's got one title, the other guy's got the other title, and then they fall back, and they wind up with different belts, and then that's how you book it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Actually, I would be surprised if they did something like that, but I would be like, oh, that's my booking. That's what I've always wanted to see happen.
And like we mentioned, this title versus title match opens the doors for potential other title versus title matches. Cobb and Ospreay could be one.
When this happened, I thought about a few months back when you and I were starting to think about working on
fantasy card,
and we both had kind of booked a 6-man tag versus 6-man tag match, which is something else I think could hypothetically happen as well. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. So first official match here announced for G1 Super Card of Honor. We have a question here from Mr. ACP. He says it's a common talking point among NJPW critics that a Western expansion will not succeed until New Japan begins releasing the cards for their shows sooner. My question is simple. How would this be possible without spoiling the prior shows? Case in point, the MSG show, we now know a couple matches on the card, most notably Jay White defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against the New Japan Cup winner. How on earth do you announce this match without spoiling New Beginning and the New Japan Cup? I've yet to hear any solutions to this dilemma, just the same tired complaints.
I have to pull up the notes that you've provided me with so that I can follow along, because this is a pretty intricate question.
Yeah, and here's what I would say to it. I think there are ways to start announcing stuff for a show without spoiling shows that are building up to it. from what I've been hearing, they knew for quite some time that they wanted the IWGP Championship to be the main event of this show. They could have said, obviously this tickets went on sale like November. They didn't have to announce it then. But I think in January, they could have came out and said, Madison Square Garden, get ready. The IWGP Championship will be defended no matter who the champion is.
I agree.
And so it doesn't matter if it's Kenny Omega. It doesn't matter if it's Hiroshi Tanahashi. It doesn't matter if it's Jay White. You know that the IWGP Championship will be defended.
I do want to say this. Mr. ACP is not entirely wrong when it comes... And actually, he's right a lot of the time. So I want to give you props. I think we should start treating ACP like SCU. Like ACP! But... you're right. Especially in this case, the idea being that the winner of the New Japan Cup is going to wrestle for the IWGP title. I think Jeremy brings up a great point that they could have hypothetically told us about that a long time ago.
Well, actually, they didn't even say the New Japan Cup stuff. If they just said the title would be defended, and then later...
I'm taking it a step further, though. I'm saying that, if they knew that there's not going to be a Sakura Genesis and there's not going to be an invasion attack and that the winner of the New Japan Cup is going to wrestle the IWGP champion, you don't have to say it's Jay White. You don't have to spoil anything. All you have to do is say the winner of the New Japan Cup is going to wrestle...
the current IWGP champion.
Yeah. In Madison Square Garden. And now, you know what would have been interesting about that? That would have added an extra wrinkle of intrigue
to Tanahashi
and Jay White. Instead, we kind of had to surmise these assumptions on our own based off the schedule and based off of what we knew of things, whereas they could have marketed it and maybe made more money off of it. The other thing, too, is that, is it possible to release a card without spoiling things? Yes, it is in some cases, because guess what? They have had cards here in America where, for instance, what was the last American show aside from these ones with the visa issues? It was the Cow Pal show, right?
Yeah.
Remember, out of an 8-card show, 6 of the matches were things that had nothing to do with the storylines happening in New Japan.
Right.
They literally could have given us the majority of that card. And when I say us, I don't mean us. I'm talking about the people buying tickets.
Right.
They really could have. And in fact, the main event they could have given away without spoiling anything. If I'm remembering correctly, what was it?
Was that Cody and Omega?
Oh, you know what? You know what? It was not the Cow Palace show. Let me backtrack. You know what show it was? It was the show that they
Young
did.
Bucks versus Golden Lovers?
No. The last one they did in LA, it was a tag match with Okada and Ishii
against Golden Lovers?
Yeah, against the Golden Lovers. And again, that was a match that had nothing to do with too much with what the stories that were going on either. They could have announced that way ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's case by case. There's not always a scenario where there are some times where they have to protect storylines and things like that. But there are times where if you're a smart booker, where you can release either a portion of the card or all of the card if you book it correctly. It's not one way or the other. It's not that the whole thing has to be secluded or the whole thing has to be released. There can be middle ground, especially since I think we on this podcast have been critical of this. And it's not because we're trying to bury New Japan or think that they suck. It's more, and I don't think it's a tired complaint, it's that the bottom line is more people buy tickets if they know what they're actually buying. And so it is incumbent on New Japan to actually take it upon themselves to release some of those cards.
Yeah.
Do it in a way that protects the cards that you have, the storylines that you have going, and protects what you've been doing up to that point. Do it in a smart way. But don't hold off on everything the whole time so that nobody knows what's happening, because it's a case of diminishing returns. And there is no denying that it is a case of diminishing returns. They keep coming back to the same market time and time again with cards that are perceived by hardcore fans in that area that maybe these are not authentic New Japan cards. Whether that's true or not, I think we on this podcast have been very vocal proponents and fans of the cards we have gotten. But the people that are attending are like, these are not real New Japan cards. We're not getting the big New Japan matches. We're getting like U.S. talent.
We're getting a bunch of like Ring of Honor guys, a bunch of gaijins.
That's the complaint, and people are buying tickets thinking they're getting New Japan. They are not sure what they're getting, and so it goes both ways. Like, yeah, ACP, you're right in the fact that like, how can they release the cards without, spoiling things? The other things, though, you have to remember, we know many of the matches for, say, Wrestle Kingdom ahead of time. And why is that? Because they work it into the storylines. Right. Maybe there's a way you can work some of these cards into the storylines.
And that was something I mentioned last year. I was like, they need to do, like, Gato needs to, they need to plan out when these U.S. shows are going to be and just weave them into the storyline. Because it almost felt like these U.S. shows kind of popped out of nowhere and were, like, last minute. And they just kind of like, oh, we got to throw something together for these shows.
I could also see the argument where people would complain. They're like, oh, well, we know what's happening way ahead of time. So there are times where you can't make everybody happy. Hopefully some of these answers answer some of the questions that you have, Mr. ACP. I don't know.
And also I think, too, a strategy they can do, I think it's a lot with like Evolve cards, because normally.
Oh yeah, I was going to touch on that. That's a great. I know exactly what you're going to say. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because Gabe, they normally run back-to-back shows like Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and they announce the full cards, and you'll see 2 Evolve title matches, and you're like, well, how can he do that? It's simple. He says if Fabian Eichner remains the champion, he will defend against Shane Strickland the next night. It's card subject to change. And the card will change based on if there's a title change on night 1, then night 2 it's a different title match.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of old school promoters used to do that, and that's really a really smart way to book things. And then you wind up with the same matches, but the implications, as far as like titles go, changes based on what happened on night 1 versus night 2. I think that's exactly what I thought you were going to say, and that's a great point to bring up. And I think that New Japan in America could benefit from going that route as well.
Yeah. So ACP, great question. And
that is a great question, and I don't think there's a simple answer to any of that. And I hope that we don't come off sounding like we have all the answers, because I think I've said many times I'm not good at this whole booking thing.
Yeah.
But I think that ultimately it is important on some level that they announce the cards sooner as opposed to waiting several days ahead of time, because ultimately it's about making money. And I think it's really hard to make money here in the States without telling people what you're getting.
Yeah.
That's my big concern, is like, I want New Japan to be successful, and how can they be if they don't tell the fans anything?
Yeah. So next thing we have on the rundown here, the full card was revealed for the 47th anniversary show. So just going to run through these matches real quickly.
Do you want to run through them, or do you want me to run through them?
I mean, I have it up right.
I got them up too.
Oh, go for it then.
Let's just do it simultaneously.
All right.
No, I'm just playing. You go.
All right. You want to go back and forth, or?
No, you got it.
All right. So at the opening match, we got Ren Narita, Shota Umino, Ayato Yoshida, Toru Yano, and Togi Makabe taking on the Bullet Club team of Hikuleo, Chase Owens, Tangaloa, Tama Tonga, and Bad Luck Fale.
I can't wait to see Hikuleo back in action.
Then we got Toa Hanare and Yuji Nagata against Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii.
Bro, why? Why do we keep getting Ishii and Yoshihashi?
It's the new Chaos Dream Team, man.
It's a nightmare team is what it is. But we are going to get Hanare and Ishii, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be great. Third match, we got the return of Dragon Lee teaming with Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, Honma, and Satoshi Kojima to take on the Suzuki-gun team of Taka, El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, and Minoru Suzuki. In the fourth match, we have the IWGP Junior Tag Title match. Sho and Yo challenging Shingo and Bushi. Then we have the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match with Jushin Thunder Liger defending against the Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori. Then we have in the sixth match, there's the Anniversary Day Special 6-man tag team match. And it will be Hiroki Goto, Kazuchika Okada, and the Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on the LIJ team of Sonata, the King of Darkness Evil, and Tetsuya Naito. And then in the main event of the night, we have the Never Openweight champion, Will Ospreay, facing off against the IWGP champion, Jay White, in the Anniversary Day Special single match. During the Honor Rising shows, they mentioned Will Ospreay calling out Jay White for this matchup.
Yeah, no, Chris Charlton had said some stuff about that.
Yeah, so it's official. We know normally on the anniversary show there isn't normally some kind of special champion versus champion. Usually it's the junior champ versus the heavyweight champ. Last year we saw Will Ospreay and Okada face off in the junior champ versus heavyweight champ match. But here we're getting the never champ versus the heavyweight champ in a rematch that happened in Ring of Honor when Jay White was on excursion there, where they had a 4.5-star matchup. So I'm looking forward to this anniversary card, and I'm looking forward to Ospreay and Jay White.
Jay White, him and Will Ospreay, like you said, had a 4.5-star match in the past. That seems to be the ceiling for Jay White. Jay White is now the 4.5-star savior.
Man, what a low to be at.
This guy sucks.
Bum.
4.5? You gotta be kidding me. He's never had a 7-star match.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
So yeah, we're gonna give our full predictions for that card next week. But since it's out, we just want to announce it. And we did have a question here from Reddit user DomHomie101. He says, since Dragon Lee is wrestling at the anniversary show, do we see him challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at MSG?
I think the bigger question is, you know, we got a question last week asking us to speculate about the return of Hiromu Takahashi. I think we had kind of speculated that maybe the appropriate time for him to return, especially based on the updates and the percentages he's been giving us, that maybe he returns at MSG. And it's very curious that Dragon Lee is randomly on the anniversary show.
Yeah, this is completely random.
Right around the same time that, given the trajectory of Hiromu Takahashi's health updates, he's going to be at 1,000%.
Yeah, and you know, Dragon Lee did mention when Hiromu was healthy that he would want to wrestle him.
He called him out several times during the Fantasticmania tour.
Yeah, so
and this is the feud that will never end.
Yeah, so I mean, Dragon Lee, their team could win, they could go over, and then you have Hiromu come out.
Yep, Hiromu comes out, challenges him, they wrestle at MSG. Hiromu shoots on that man, breaks his neck. Then Dragon Lee's out for another year. Then next year we get the ultimate match between them once they're both healed from their broken necks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the 47th anniversary show.
He said also, what are the chances that we see the team of Ospreay and Tanahashi challenging? Yeah,
I think I copied that twice. I think we answered that earlier about Ospreay and Tanahashi.
Botchamania.
Yeah. Man, call up Matthew and get me on Botchamania.
So we did get the New Japan Cup participants revealed earlier. What was that, today?
Yeah, earlier on Monday. I believe they came out at 3 a.m. Eastern our time.
So I will run through those really quick, but we also got a very surprising announcement. Rocky Romero tweeted out that Mikey Nichols, you may also know him as, what was his name?
Nick Miller. From
Miller.
TM61 in NXT.
The Mighty Don't Kneel, also from his Noah days, is set to return. He was released a few months prior from his NXT contract, and he's going to be debuting in New Japan Pro Wrestling as part of the Chaos stable.
Yeah.
Which I did not know was still a group.
Yeah, Chaos is still a thing, man.
So they announced the dates and the participants for the New Japan Cup. The New Japan Cup is double in size this year. 32 participants with 4 blocks. So I will run through them really, really, really quick. So we have on the first night, Nagata versus Ishii.
Yes.
Also, Hanma versus Taichi. Nakanishi versus Yoshihashi. I didn't think I'd see Nakanishi in another one of these ever again. And Juice Robinson versus Chase Owens. My God, that's going to be a match of the year candidate.
Dude.
Oh, my God.
That's going to be great.
That's going to be great. Night 2, we've got Kazuchika Okada taking on Michael Elgin. They always produce money. We have Mikey, who I'm guessing is Mikey Nichols.
Yep.
Taking on Leo?
Hikuleo.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Yeah, the big man. He's in the cup.
What a task. On the same night, we have Will Ospreay taking on Bad Luck Fale, which I'm like, is he going to Stormbreaker him? Like,
bro.
Hinare versus Lance Archer. And then on March 10th, the C block, we have Tana versus Shota Umino. So Tanahashi is taking on Shota Umino in a singles match.
Dude, this is going to be a great showcase for Umino.
We also have Hiroyoshi Tenzan taking on Dave Finlay. If he's able to go, that is.
Yeah, for that separated shoulder.
We also have, this is a big one, guys, Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito. 2 of the favorites of the entire tournament going head-to-head on the very first round.
Yeah, these are 2 of the favorites to win. This is a bracket buster.
We also have the rematch between Evil and Zack Sabre Jr. to round off that C block night. And then we have the D block. I don't know what, like A, B, C, D. That's probably wrong. It's probably A on the first side and then B on the second side. But whatever. I'm going to call it D anyways. Togi Makabe taking on Colt Cabana. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, Colt in the cup.
Toriano against Davey Boy Smith Jr. A rematch of, I think they've actually wrestled
in the New Japan Cup before.
Multiple times
Yeah,
in the New Japan Cup.
yeah.
Satoshi Kojima taking on Minoru Suzuki.
Let's go, Kojima. Let's go.
He's definitely getting heel hooked.
Nah, man. This man Kojima is going to go out there, hit that Koji cutter, get this bum Suzuki out of here in the first round.
You're crazy.
Calling it right now.
That's not happening.
What? He's going to take that elbow pad off. Western Lariat. So get that man Suzuki in the corner, hit him with the machine gun chops. Oh, it's going to be beautiful, man.
I'm dying. He's going to get Gotch Pile Driver and it's going to be over.
Nah, bro.
Why are you saying no? You're acting like this can't happen. It's definitely what's happening. The final match of the night, Goto versus Sonata. So Sonata's definitely winning, and that's about it. So, yeah, man. The first 4 nights look lit, and they're back-to-back. 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be intense.
It's like a mini G1.
Yeah, and I do want to say that, we are going to do our 2nd annual New Japan Cup Pick'em prediction contest.
I want to, impose the DJZ, bah, 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 right there.
Yeah.
Every time you say the contest, I do
Ba-da-da.
the sound horn.
But yeah, so we're doing our contest again. I'm gonna be creating this. There's a site where you can create a bracket and you can fill out your bracket, and you'll be able to take a screen capture or download it, and you will email it to me. I'll put out a separate post later on this week once I get it all completed. But we did this contest last year. We had a lot of people enter. The prize this year, the winner will get a Keeping It Strong Style T-shirt.
Oh wow!
So those are
I want to win. I don't have our own shirt yet. I think that the winner should get a kimono.
Winner can get a Keeping It Strong Style shirt and a kimono of their choice. So get ready, start working on your brackets. I'll put the link out later this week on how you can fill out the brackets to enter that contest, and we'll see what happens. I believe friend of the show, Kyle Moores, won the bracket contest last year.
We'll have to ask him.
I'm pretty sure, because that was the first contest we did, and I think
that wasn't. Remember we did that one where we gimmicked all the reviews?
Oh, yeah.
He might have won that.
Yeah.
You know what? He didn't win this because the person that won this lived in
oh, that's right. It was
Singapore.
Yeah, it was international. Yeah, that shipping.
It was far away.
That shipping cost. Yeah. So yeah, man.
International show.
Yeah.
No big deal.
So yeah, everybody come and get ready to enter this contest. Win you a free T-shirt, and we had some questions revolving around New Japan Cup. First from Zack Saber Time, he says, "Do you guys think Ibushi beats Naito, loses to Okada in the finals, and then we get Naito versus Ibushi at MSG for the Intercontinental title?"
It's a very specific question. No. I will say this. Ibushi Naito, man. So we got to touch on this. Apparently, they, for the first time this year, not only are they expanding the field, but they are allowing the current champions to be in the tournament, which is awesome.
Yeah, this is the biggest New Japan Cup there is. 32 men, all the singles champions. Those of you that
they didn't do it on one night, though.
Oh my gosh!
WrestleMania 4, they did it on one night.
The fans new to New Japan, and if this is your first New Japan Cup, traditionally it's a 16-man block, and all single champions are not in it because the winner gets to choose which champion they challenge. But
allegedly,
but every year they always
challenge the IWGP champion.
Why wouldn't you? That's reminds me of when they did the NXT contest and Low Key won. He got a title shot of any choosing, but he ended up challenging for the IC title. Why wouldn't he challenge for the WWE title or the world title?
His name was Kaval. Get it right.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I do think Naito versus Ibushi in a title match, IC title match, I think that is a possibility.
No, I think that's a possibility.
But I'm not going to give away my official...
Yeah, you're asking us for our brackets, Zack Saber Time.
Not until next week we'll reveal our brackets and our predictions for this thing.
We're not that kind of show. We don't just give it up right away when you ask for it.
You gotta,
You gotta finesse us. You gotta go out and buy a shirt from us. You gotta wine and dine us. Just want us to give you all of our picks. Yeah, right.
But that is a good question. Thank you, Zack Saber Time.
No, but I'll tell you what. I would love to see... Anytime Naito and Ibushi are going to go head-to-head, I always want it. And I'm going to be at the MSG show. So do I want to see Naito and Ibushi live?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. So...
Dom Homie 181, he says, with the New Japan Cup bracket out, what are some upsets that we could see? Thoughts on Shota versus Tana?
Well, I absolutely think Shota Umino is going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi. That makes total sense. That's going to be the first major big upset of round one.
Oh, my gosh.
Also, I'm sorry, Don Homie 101. That's a great question. We had a listener. I just want to throw this out there. We had a listener a few weeks ago mention how we made fun of his questions 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's Twitter user at 91 Reasons You Lose. But he said he was just messing with us.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, we do that to everybody because we're just trying to have a sense of humor. We actually appreciate your questions. And if we make fun of your question, it's not that we think your question is stupid. It's just that we are stupid.
We are stupid.
No, but yeah, that's a great question. As far as upsets that we could see, I think we should hold off on that till next week when we do our predictions and reviews of the New Japan Cup. But I think we can give our thoughts on Shota Umino and Tanahashi for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing Umino getting these big singles matches. I think this is going to be a real great chance to showcase Umino here, and I think it'll be a great one of his last matches before Excursion.
My big thing is Tanahashi, torn bicep, broken down back,
knees,
terrible knees, the bad neck. This guy is broken down. I don't know that he has a chance against a young Dynamo against like Shota Umino. I mean, this guy is on the way up. Tanahashi's on the way down. I mean, he just got killed by Jay White. Don't be surprised to see Shota Umino just job, this guy.
Hey, we saw, with Liger, a pinfall can happen at any time. Umino can slap on that loud magic straight all.
I could roll you up, brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Juice Robinson special. You can get rolled up.
How mad would you be if your name was Kushida and you saw Shota Umino beat Tanahashi?
Dude, how mad are you if you're Kushida and you see that Shota Umino's in the New Japan Cup?
I don't think he'll care about that. But if he beat Tanahashi, if I was Kushida, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, where is that guy?
I don't know. There's a tournament that started on 205 Live.
God!
Where the winner gets a shot at Buddy Murphy at WrestleMania. The full bracket for that tournament's not out, so Kushida could be one of the special entrants in that tournament.
All I think about when I think of 205 Live is that was the former home of Enzo Amore. Such legends as Enzo Amore.
Hey, they're doing some good stuff on 205, man.
That's what they say. I don't know if anyone's seeing it, but that's what they say.
I watch it. Clive from Ricky and Clive, he's Mr. 205 Live.
Yeah.
He does the reviews for Social Suplex every week.
Putting out the new vape every week.
Yes. So next question comes from our boy Rich Latta.
Oh, God. Let's skip this one.
I just thought about that. Rich Latta, you could go to hell.
Hold on. Let him ask his question first.
Why does Gato love knocking out someone in the top 4 consistently in the first round of the New Japan Cup?
Why do you love questioning Gato's booking when he's the best booker in the world? Rich Latta, you can go to hell.
3 times in a week.
I forgot about it. I forgot that we said that 2 weeks in a row.
Oh my God, 3 weeks in a row.
This is going to be our gimmick.
This is a new bit. Oh, my.
You know why he loves to do that? I don't know. He's Gato, and he's a great booker. Who are you to question Gato?
When have you booked a 7-star match, Rich?
I was doing a gimmick where I was pretending, who are you to doubt El Dandy?
No, but seriously.
Someone definitely, with the whole thing with Ibushi and Naito, someone's getting knocked out. You know what? I think the main reason in this particular case why it kind of makes sense is because it's going to build to something else. And it's like, if you keep all the top guys into the very, very end, less opportunity for other guys, plus title holders have less. I'm assuming the title holders probably get knocked out pretty early.
Yeah, to set up future title matches.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say that because Zack Sabre-Time was trying to ask us to give it up, and I'm not that kind of show.
Yeah, you got to work to get your glitter.
I give away my glitter.
Zach Porter, he says, do you like them switching to a 32-man bracket this year? Can you see any plausible upsets in the first round? Do you think Elgin's going to be a bracket buster again this year with a laughing face?
You know what? Last week someone asked us about our underrated matches that don't get talked about. I forgot, and I really wanted to mention it last week. Elgin against Ishii.
Oh, yes. From that New Japan Cup first round.
That and their match from the G1 a few years ago. Both of their singles matches never get talked about, and they're both incredible. And I thought the match last year was maybe the most unheralded 5-star match I've ever seen in my life, and I still think it's a 5-star match. I don't care what anyone says, but yeah, no, I don't think he's beaten Okada. So I see what that laughing face is about. I think we should talk about upsets next week.
Yeah, we'll do upsets next week. So what about the 32-man bracket?
I love it. I love it. The only thing I'm upset about is it's not happening on one night. WrestleMania 4, Macho Man Randy Savage went through a 32-man bracket at the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and he won it all.
And how long were those matches, and how good were those matches?
Ricky Steamboat versus Greg the Hammer Valentine is a very good match on that show.
What else?
Ricky Steamboat versus Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, I like the 32-man bracket. The more the merrier. I like the champions being in there.
I don't know, though. At the same time, it's I kind of like it, but it's man, it's a lot of wrestling to watch. I'm not like Jeremy. Jeremy be watching wrestling every night. I'm having to change my priorities. I'm like, all right, I guess I have to start watching wrestling every single night.
Yeah, dude. I would say, 95% of what I watch is wrestling.
Yeah, Jeremy, like, I came home the other night and Jeremy was watching New Girl, and I was like, oh, you're on season 1. I was like, that's good, bro. I'm glad you're getting into this.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved New Girl.
Yeah, I do too.
I've never watched it from beginning to end, so.
I have. It's really good. Have you seen The Umbrella Academy yet?
I have not.
You need to check that. You'll like that.
Okay.
You need to check that out.
All right, so moving on to the news. Tanahashi, Okada, and Naito have been confirmed for the NJPW Royal Quest in England. The New Japan Twitter made a little fun at the visa issues and said, good news, all 3 men have their visas for this show.
Thank God.
How do you feel about the IWGP champion not being one of the guys advertised for this show?
I feel fine. Because at this point, we don't know if Jay White will still be the champion. For all we know, one of these guys could be the IWGP champion. The other thing, too, is Jay White, if he is the champion, he doesn't have to go to England to defend that title. He's a super important guy. He can hold off. Like, how many times, like, what with the clause, like, how often do you have to defend your title?
Oh, what, the IWGP title?
What is it, 30 days? Every 30 days? That's like most companies?
That's most companies, but I don't think that's in New Japan. There's been months, like more than 1 month in between title reigns.
He's fine. He doesn't have to go to England to defend his title. He can go to Corkin and do it. Why does he have to go to England? He's Jay White. He can do whatever he wants. He's great.
I was just saying, that was some complaints or some jokes I was seeing.
Oh, are people really complaining about that?
I'm not complaining, but there were some jokes like,
they're like, they're not advertising.
Yeah, Jay White was supposed
foreign
to
A's.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a foreign A's top star, IWGP champion, but he's not advertised for the Royal Quest.
Just wait, guys. Pretty soon he's gonna be on that 4 3/4 star level, and you're gonna feel sorry.
Kota Ibushi had a translated interview from Chris Charlton talking about why he chose New Japan over AEW. He said, the second I went, that would be the end of my wrestling career, I thought, Ibushi began. What I realized talking to AEW was I really don't care about money. AEW said that they just want me in their ring in some form. The ideal for them was for me to move to America and be there full time. I turned them down just after Wrestle Kingdom. If I went, it would be the end of my career. There wouldn't be anywhere else to go after that. No step up. Nothing left to do. That would be the last step to make, and after the things would just go down. Great money, but I want to keep developing.
Well, it's pretty interesting because, if you think about it, think about all the guys that went to, who were in very similar situations back in the 90s that went to WCW. Where did they go after that?
Nowhere.
That was their last step.
Yeah.
You might have a point.
Yeah, then he had some further comments. He said, Kenny Omega wants to change the world of wrestling. I think to change the world of wrestling, New Japan is the best place to do that. That's where he and I differ. I can do all that here. All the places I've been, NJPW is the highest level. I really want to lay my cards out and shut down what about Ibushi talk. Osaka was that chance. The Ibushi Institute is on hold. I'm exclusive to NJPW. This is the last decision I will make in my career. I'll end my wrestling career in NJPW.
So he says. But no, that's interesting. Those are really interesting comments. I actually hadn't heard any of that.
Yeah, and he says his top 3 desired opponents in New Japan are Jay White, Okada, and Shingo Takagi.
Those are not Chris Jericho's main desired opponents. But yeah, man, those are interesting thoughts.
Yeah, we had a question from Rambone Slam Pig. He says, Do you think Ibushi signing a contract makes Naito getting a run to the top belt less likely? Do you see a run for Naito in the cards in the near future?
I still think they should go with Naito, but I do think that it is less likely with Ibushi signing a new contract. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but when you have more options with guys that might be perceived as bigger stars who've never had the opportunity, they might go with the new guy.
Yeah.
He's the new toy.
Yeah, shiny toy syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think Naito should, I agree with you, Naito and Okada, they should run that back at the Dome. But yeah, Ibushi signing a contract throws a wrench in things for Naito's plans. So in other news, Will Ospreay versus Pac ended in a 30-minute time limit draw at Rev Pro High Stakes. The two will be teaming up at the Rev Pro show in New York to face off against CCK. I heard great things about this one-on-one matchup.
I've also heard bad things about this one-on-one matchup.
Yeah,
I need to see it with my own eyes.
So I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm hearing some people saying Pac is being lazy. I've heard people say 5 stars.
I've heard people say overbooked.
Yeah, so
very interesting stuff though. But I don't know why they only went 30 minutes to a time limit draw. Back in my day, they used to go 60, brother.
Well, maybe there will be a 60-minute draw in the future. Maybe they'll pull a CM Punk Samoa Joe rivalry.
I'll tell you one thing. That Rev Pro show, I really wanted to go to it, but Ospreay and Pac against CCK is not that appealing to me. I mean, that's my hot take. I'm kind of eh.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a Pac versus Ospreay match could have been better. Rematch.
Ospreay and Pac against anybody, just a singles match on WrestleMania weekend, other than CCK. I don't want to watch them wrestle CC. What? That's Chris Brooks and John Gresham?
Yeah.
That doesn't do much for me.
I mean, I'm just excited to see Pac.
That's like a live at the cockpit type of match, not WrestleMania weekend.
Other news: Liger will be replacing Will Ospreay for OTT's Scrappermania show on 3/15 at Dublin National Stadium. He faces off against Sky Davis. Ospreay had to pull out this show because he's going to be in the New Japan Cup. Chris Jericho noted that while he and Gedo are on the same page, New Japan management has not talked to him about a new deal yet. So keep your eyes open on what will happen with Jericho in New Japan. We had the Giant Baba Memorial Show recently.
I actually listened to the podcast that was on Wrestling Observer with Fumi and what's the other guy's name?
Yeah, I'm slipping my mind right now.
I forget as well, but it was a really good podcast. They kind of did a rundown of what had gone on with this, and I definitely need to catch this show.
Yeah, the big main event was Kento Miyahara and Daisuke Sekimoto. They defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi and Yoshitatsu, obviously pinning Yoshitatsu there. After the match, Miyahara cut a promo saying, how great it was that he got to wrestle Tanahashi. Tanahashi is one of his idols, and that he was wrestling at Tsuma Hall with Tanahashi, and both him and Tanahashi did their catchphrases together. So we had a question here from Reddit user Eater of Bread. He says, did you guys catch the Giant Baba Memorial Show? If so, what do you think? And do you feel like it could lead to further collaborations between NJPW and other Japanese promotions this year?
I have not caught it.
I have not caught it either.
I need to, although they did upload all the NJPW related wrestling matches from this show on New Japan World. So that's there now. So if you want to catch those matches, I don't know what the presentation's like, if they're showing the stuff afterwards. I definitely want to see the Abdul the Butcher stuff, the presentation in the ring with him and all the legends, and I want to see the stuff with that Inoki, which I don't think they're going to be showing on New Japan World, so I want to see the whole show, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so what about collaborations between NJPW and other Japanese promotions this
Hell
year?
No.
Josh is saying this with a straight face.
It's not happening. Don Homie No, to kind of elaborate on that, I'm all about collaborations. And actually, I don't know if you've heard recently about the rumors of a potential coalition between several New Japan, several Japanese promotions like Big Japan, 01, Noah. If I'm remembering correctly, there's several different companies that are talking about having like a big coalition where throughout the year they do big shows and include talent from all three companies. Maybe DDT was one of them. I'm trying to remember. But, that's kind of where it seems like the rest of Puroresu is going. New Japan has been very exclusionary because they're so much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah.
There really is no upside or benefit to partnering with any of these smaller companies. I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying they shouldn't do it. I love crossovers. I love it. And I would love to see guys from All Japan and different companies like that work with New Japan,
and create like a super card.
But they're just not gonna do it. They don't need to. There's no business reason for them to do it. It's not gonna move tickets or long gone are the days of UWF versus New Japan. Like that's the All Japan New Japan matches from the early 2000s. That stuff's just not gonna happen at this current time.
Yeah.
I think that we could see certain legends. It did seem from what I heard about the show, it seemed like they were building to a potential match between Kojima and I'm trying to remember who it was. I'd have to watch again. They were saying that there was a tease between Kojima, maybe it was Jun Akiyama, during one of the tag matches where they seemed to have heat with one another. Guys like that, I could see, crossing, guys like Suzuki, guys like Nagata. Mm-hmm. But as far as like working together as companies, no, not really, no.
Dom Homie 101 says, what are the possibilities of a Tanahashi versus Miyahara one-on-one match?
They say that Tanahashi is the 1 in 1,000 talent, once in a lifetime. The chances and possibility of a Tanahashi versus Miyahara match are 1 in 1,000. It's never going to happen.
And that's the next question is about that too. Twitter user @TwitterAintShit. He says, "Do you guys think Tanahashi versus Kento Miyahara will be one of the Wrestle Kingdom 14 main events? I heard Kento was pushing for a one-on-one match versus Tanahashi."
You can push all you want, but if New Japan doesn't think you're a star or see you on that level, and don't get it twisted, All Japan's had a great year, but like they would really have to be putting. They always say like, "Put me on." New Japan have to be putting Kento Miyahara on. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Wrestle Kingdom 14. I feel like they're gonna use their own guys for those main events.
That's like speculating. Is Kento Miyahara like Y2J level talent, a guy you can bring in from the outside to move the culture? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love Kento Miyahara. I've said it on this show so many times how much I like Kento Miyahara. I love the guy. But he's not moving the culture.
Yeah.
He's a super talent, and he's like Tanahashi Jr., but he's like only really known by like Puroresu fans who are in the know, who are diehards. Your average wrestling fan, they don't know the guy. So I really don't think that's ever going to happen. Unless Tanahashi's just like, I want to go to All Japan and do a favor and wrestle a guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think the guy's coming to New Japan.
Yeah.
I would love it. I would love it. Like, I would love it, but it's not happening. Unless they poach him.
Yeah.
They'd have to poach him.
All right, so we had a few off-topic questions here. We are running super long on time, so I'm going to hold those questions for next week. And we'll touch on those. So we're going to wrap things up here. Next week, we'll be back with a preview and prediction show for the 47th anniversary and the New Japan Cup. Be on the lookout later this week for the bracket contest for the New Japan Cup. Make sure you connect with us on social media, on Twitter. I am at Jeremy L. Donovan. The show is at KI Strong Style. You can also follow us at Social Suplex. On Facebook, we're facebook.com/Social Suplex. And you can also join us in the Wrestling Squared Circle group, facebook.com/group/Wrestling Squared Circle. On Reddit, I'm the Pro Black Guy. Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. You can also email me, jeremy@socialsuplex.com. Check out all the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. On Sundays, we have One Nation Radio, hosted by Rich Latta and James Boyd. Mondays, we have the Omega Luke Podcast. Wednesdays, we have Ricky and Clive, and our show dedicated to independent wrestling, Grown Men Watch This Shit, hosted by Jeremy Tate and Chris Bryan. On Fridays, we'll be debuting a new show called NXT, Then, Now, and Forever, which will be hosted by James Boyd.
The symbol of excellence.
Yes. And Saturdays, we have All Things Elite, hosted by Floyd Johnson Jr. and Jordan Fox. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating, and review. We will catch you next week on Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts. Ichiban.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.